Hey everybody, welcome to the Players Take, episode 224. I'm your host, Justin DeSimone. Psych, it's Montrell. Justin's not here. He's on vacation. He's on the beach somewhere. Or I think actually today up recording, he's flying back. He might actually be back because I saw his cursor in our doc. So that's funny. But yeah, so I am here with a special guest. Well, he's not a special guest. Well, he is a special guest, but I don't even know if he's a guest at this point. He might as well be our third co-host. It's DJ Hugo or DJ.
It's
Say
just DJ.
hi.
It's just DJ.
Just
Hello, how's
DJ.
it
You're not
going?
DJ
Just
Hugo no
DJ.
more.
Yeah, eventually, especially if we start what we talked about starting,
Yeah.
the name is going to change because I already been thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah, the name is going to change eventually. It's coming soon. There's a
Okay.
meaning to it, man. There's a meaning to it, and I'm about to start asking people what's today's mathematics.
Oh my god.
Let me stop.
All
Uh,
right. So let me get into the rigmarole here. We can get into it. We post every 6 8 post on 6 a.m. Fridays on Apple Podcast or Apple Podcasts, Google, Stitcher, and your favorite podcast app of choice. You can write us at Twitter at the Players Take or email us at theplayerstake01@gmail.com. I butchered that. Justin does a lot better, but that's because he's the main person who does that part. Um So yeah, we will have everything up tomorrow. I'm gonna make sure of that, and then we will have Justin back next week, and I'll make sure of that. And we're probably gonna go over some of the stuff again next week because he has to watch this, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna have some thoughts on it as well. But we're not gonna go over all of it. But so I'm gonna get right into it here. And but first, before we do that, we usually ask, "How's your day going? How you been, DJ?"
Oh, my day's been going by well. I purchased another car today, so I got rid of my old one. I got a Kia now. Uh, man, it feels
You
good.
be swapping cars like.
See, now this is a thing that I learned, Retro. When you buy a new car, they keep you in a new car market, right? So at a point in time, you do want to say, I don't want to purchase this other car, and I will just keep it right here. But what happens, especially now, they be like, hey, we we need used cars or pre-owned cars. And they
Mhm.
basically just offered to pay my car, and they gave me a better car that I was even looking for. We can get you in this one, my note and everything. They would say, well, based on your credit history, your payment history, blah, 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 we can get you in this one. And like, it would be no problem.
Yeah, I've
And
been thinking
so,
about getting rid of my old car, and I think I'm just what I'm going to do because I don't want another note because I'm loving life without a note right now.
mm-hmm.
I think what I'm going to do is trade in my old car, and surprisingly, my old car is still worth like 5 or 6 grand. I don't know how. It's crazy.
It's because the value of cars right now. The value of cars is the resale market for you reselling your car is kind of crappy, but for all cars across the market is crappy. But for a car like yours, which is kind of old, right? Like an older
Hmm.
like Mustang generation, it's good because yours is valued a little bit more because of like how the car market is, how bad the car market is, right?
Yeah, because it
Uh,
still has a V6 engine in it. I know the newer Mustangs they only have EcoBoost 4 cylinder cars or the 4 cylinders now.
mhm.
For the ones in
Imagine if you had that car, like if you bought it when it was new,
Mhm.
and I'm pretty sure like you're the way you would have kept it in like amazing condition, right?
Yeah,
The condition that you brought the car in is like it's pre-owned, right?
yeah.
So like if you would have bought that shit when it was new, I'm pretty sure your car would have been valued like at 10K plus by now.
Probably because I did originally plan on just fixing the car up, which I might do. I'm gonna swap the radio out. I'm probably gonna swap the engine out. Um, I don't know. I think that's it, and give it a paint job. That's pretty much it, though.
Hey, I
I'm
got
gonna
a
sell it.
person for that as well. Like if you my coworker, he does like all that shit. He has his own drop mechanic. Like he's a mechanical. And
Okay.
he's if you want somebody for like the engine, all that shit, labor wise,
Hmm.
he hook us up for the spot. All we got to do is buy the parts, and he
For
would
real?
even
Okay.
direct us of like where the parts are at, and like he will hook us up labor wise.
Okay. I'll definitely get with you after the show about that then.
And like he has paint shit as well. So if you want your car painted, he could do that.
Yeah, because I definitely need my car painted. I think that's probably the only thing I need because I already got the inside detailed and everything. Uh, but yeah, that's all I needed.
Man, I've been
Done.
watching them detailed videos of people cleaning their car, like as this one black guy who got his own company be cleaning
Yeah, I saw
cars,
that
making it
too.
look like they new as fuck. Oof.
Yeah, I saw that one too. Yeah, I saw that. I've been watching him and another person who details their cars and stuff like that. Because I know how to change. I know how to detail my own car. I'm about to change out the steering wheel. I know how to work on my own car. It's just like I don't feel like it. Like I did the brakes and everything like that. I did the
I mean,
brakes
we
on the
from
girl
Detroit. I
car.
mean,
I mean, yeah, we it's like kind of built in our blood at this point.
that mother,
I changed my girl's
we learned that shit since we was kids.
I changed my girl's like engine cover and her some of her valves and stuff like that. And she's like, "How do you know how to do all this?" I'm like, "I just looked at the manual and I'm like, all right, let's go." Like, and
Well,
I
you
did
just
it.
gotta take this shit apart. That's
Yeah, I just took the shit apart, and I was like, me and Dennison, we figured out how to take the shit apart, and then we just did it, and then we changed everything out, and that was pretty much it. But just give me 1 second here. But yeah, so but for me though, I just been this week actually been really busy. Like I've been busy nonstop since Labor Day. Like after not Labor Day, but Veterans Day. After Veterans Day, or it was Memorial Day. Memorial Day.
Memorial
I'm
Day.
sorry. Yeah, after Memorial Day, I've been busy last week and all the way up until like this week. Yesterday was like my first like quote unquote chill day. But even that day, I wasn't really chilling. So I've been like super busy at work. It's been crazy. Uh, um, I've been trying to figure out. I, I think I'm going to start working out at the YMCA. It's cheaper and you get everything. Because it's like right down the street from me. Instead
Hmm.
of going to like an actual gym and shit like that. And I don't know. I just been just been doing me. I was cutting the grass, but I think I might go back to like getting the lawn service again because I'm like, bro, I just cut this grass like 2 weeks ago. This shit already grew back.
Ha!
Uh,
Look, that's because of the rain, man. That's because of the
yeah.
rain. So
Whereas like last year, man, the grass was barely growing. That's because it was in like in a drought. But like now it's like the opposite this year, which is crazy to me. Another thing I just been doing, like I guess I like segue into like the games we've been playing. So like since I quit League of Legends and I quit Apex Legends, I haven't touched those games since. Um, I didn't know. Like you
proud of
ever
you.
heard? You said what? Thank
I'm
you.
proud of you.
Thank you. Like of addiction and like withdrawals and stuff like that. And somebody on
Hmm.
my Twitter posted to me and they was like, "Yo, you've been like pretty like irritable the last couple of days. You've been posting and stuff like that." And I was like, you know what? It's probably because I quit my fucking addiction. Like I quit fucking League and I quit Apex Legends and stuff like that. So like that shit is real, y'all. Like that addiction shit where people have like withdrawals and stuff. But I don't have the urge. I be having the urge to go back sometime. But then I just look at it and I'm like, I remember how that shit made me feel. And
Hmm.
I just don't fucking play it no more. Um I
You know
might go
what's
back
funny?
like last year, next year or something like that, or in a couple months. But like right now, I have no like like it is it's crazy because I quit at the right time because like both communities are in shambles right now. Like the league community right now, they are like at war with Riot because like the whole player walkout they just did. And
What
then
you talking about the esports?
yeah, the esports scene and like the community is super involved in esports. Like for real, a lot of them are involved. And then like they just don't like the meta right now and like Riot hasn't been taking care of the game. I mean, they've been taking care of the game, but they don't like the change they've been doing to the game, rather. So I can't say they haven't been taking care of the game, but they have. And then for like Apex, like we are like I know one of our good friends worked at Respawn and love him to death, and he has nothing to do with Apex, so I can say this shit like they are fucking up Apex. So um they're fucking up Apex to the point where like the pro scene is walking away. A lot of their like streamers, like not even pro streamers, like their popular streamers, just like they're playing other games now. Like some of them are playing D4 and everything like that. And it's just like
Everyone I know who used to play Apex don't play Apex anymore.
yeah, it's like it's dying because it's like the barrier to entry in that game is super fucking high. Like either you're ass or you're good. Like there is no in between. There's no middle class in there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's it for Apex. And then like even if you do get good, it's just the fucking hacker situation because now I play with a lot of PC players because I play primarily PC players because Justin and my friend Jet they own PC. So when you jump into PC, you play with only PC players. So I'm only playing with PC players. So I'm like, I have to be good off rip just to keep up with them. Because I'm playing on controller on top of that. But like the aim assist is really good in the game. So I'm keeping up with them. But then when I go back to console, like I play by myself or I play with my other friend, like my other group of Apex friends who barely play. Like I fucking dominate those console lobbies. Like they're like, "What the fuck? You're sweaty as fuck." And I'm like, "Yeah, my bad." Like even when I was with this Fortnite, I was playing console Fortnite, and I was playing with my friends on there. I don't even play Fortnite like that, but I know how to play the game. And we was playing no build mode, and I like did like 2 squad wipes and everything like that. Because we were out of the bot lobbies. I know we were in bot lobbies for a minute, and then we got out of the bot lobbies, started playing against actual players. And yeah, I was just like, I was fucking down there. He's like, "Do you play this game often?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't play this game at all like that. Like, it's just fucking
So
Apex shit, bro. That's the
when
Apex
when
gene."
when you play Fortnite, because don't Fortnite have a first person mode now?
No, no, they got all they got is a no build mode, no
Okay,
build, and they
okay.
got ranked, and that's pretty much it. And they got regular build mode, but that's about it. I don't know. It's just like my skills transfer over to it really fast because they got some of the same mechanics as Apex. They got the slide, the jump, and then they got the ODM gear. Like there's a whole bunch of movement in that game, so I like those
I
high
haven't played
intensity.
Fortnite in a while.
Yeah, man, it's fun. Like they got all those movement, all the movement tech in there. Like not that little crazy schizo shit that you be seeing on fucking like Twitch, like fucking Call of Duty and shit, where they be like twitching out and doing all that dumb. That's not movement, y'all.
Hmm.
Like, but yeah, like I don't know. I think the games, I think both of those games, it was just time for me to leave. And just like let it die. Or for me personally, so I did. So I've been like trying to dive back into like single player games, and I stumbled across. So first of all, I have been playing Battlefield 2042. I'll just talk about
Okay.
that real quick. That game, it did come back. Uh, and I will admit, if I'm willing to give this game a shot, I am willing to give Cyberpunk another shot. Because this game is
My oof,
this
my
this
guy.
game. No, you can say my nigga. You can say my niggas too, my guy. You know what I'm saying? But you can say but yeah,
To talk about that shit this week because I just start played it again. Getting prepared for the DLC, and they supposed to be talking about the DLC and Summer Games Fest and
yeah,
shit.
I
So
saw that. So I'm gonna try to jump into it again. I was hoping it was on like PlayStation Premium or something where I don't have to pay for it to
dude, you
play it
can get
again.
that GameStop for like $10.
Okay, I'll just do that
Like
then.
it's so fucking cheap. It's so
Yeah.
fucking cheap.
Do they got a PS5 version of it, or
Uh,
is it just a fix?
you have
Is
to
it
get the PS4 version, which gives you the PS5 download.
okay?
Um, hold on, give me. I don't know if they actually released the actual disc for the PS5 version, but like with me, I got the PS4 version. This is the only thing I hate about it
Hmm.
is that I can't delete the PS4 version from my hard drive, even my external. Like it still the PS4 version needs to be installed for me to even play the PS5 version.
Oh,
And I
okay,
still need the disc in the game so the PS5 version can register and all that BS. But
okay, yeah. But no,
uh,
like I've been playing Battlefield, and I mean the game is not what I want it to be. I still think it's a pseudo hero shooter type deal because they got different operators for different roles.
oh, by the way, $20 Cyberpunk.
$20, all right.
And if you
Uh,
got a GameStop Pro, if you're not, you can use mine. So you get $5 off.
I
15
still got my
bucks.
GameStop Pro. Oh, they actually fired the CEO of GameStop too. By the way, that's
Damn.
yeah, they fired him. They had their first red. They had a couple red quarters. So they fired him.
Oh,
Unfortunately, I
okay.
don't know what they
Shit.
expect him to do, but yeah.
I mean,
But
I thought
yeah,
GameStop was doing good. I mean,
yeah, I thought they were too, but I don't know. But yeah, I've been playing, Battlefield 2042, and I think it's season 5 just dropped. I was playing it before season 5 dropped, and I like the change they did to the game. But this is one of those games, man. Like, me and Justin was talking about like a casual shooter, like for people to
mhm.
get to. You can be sweaty if you want to. There's like no middle ground. I think this game actually has that middle ground. I don't know. It's just like with all the players, it's always a lot of shit to do. If you just want to be a battlefield medic, you can do that. If you want to be a person
Hmm.
that spots people, you can do that. If you want to go in guns blazing, you can do that. It's something for everybody in the game. I kind
And
of
then
like
you
that.
play with squads as well, so you're always spawning with your squad. So it's not like you, if you do find that sweat, you always fight in that sweat. You know,
Exactly, exactly. So it's like I don't know. It's really fun. It's a good game to jump into for about 45 minutes to an hour and then jump out, and you don't feel like you missing out on anything or anything like that. Um, Even when some of the games is like one sided, you don't feel too shitty or whatever. Um, and then I've been playing Metal Gear 5 a little bit more.
so
Actually,
yeah,
I
talk
haven't.
to me about that. So yeah, talk to me
Why
about
I
your
started
Metal
playing
Gear
Metal Gear
Five.
5?
Yeah, you know,
Uh,
like just not even just why you started, like in your experience, like what you going through. Because I love Metal
oh,
Gear Five,
so
right? I really
so
love that fucking game.
so you got to understand when I played Metal Gear 5 back in like 2014, 2015, or was it 2016?
No, Metal Gear Five came out in like 2014 or some shit like that.
Okay.
Because yeah, it was like when the PS3 came out, like 2013.
Nah,
So
it wasn't
yeah,
that early. It wasn't a PS4 generation. It wasn't PS4
yeah,
3.
Metal Gear. Yeah, it was like 2000 and it was like 2014 when that game came out.
I can see that. Let me see. I'm going to see.
Because I
Ground
think the prologue
Zeroes came
came
out.
out. Yeah.
Ground Zero came out earlier. Okay, it came out in 2015. All right.
Oh damn, 2015. Shit.
2015, yeah. That's what I thought. So when I played this game, I don't know if you remember, it was that weird era where like 20 fucking open world games came out. And I think I was just kind of like sick of open world games at the point. And I played it and I just wasn't in the right headspace as well. And I think um like I was just going through a lot of personal shit. And then in 2016, I moved. And then I tried to play it again in 2016 when I moved down to Texas. And then like it was we were just, both of us were still trying to get acquainted to like moving to Texas and everything like that. So I think I just played this at a bad time. But now that I played it, and I guess I'm a little bit more experienced as far as like my own player experience. It's kind of hard to explain. But like what I want out of the game or whatever, uh, I was so used to like old Metal Gear to where I was like, um I want my experience to be like old Metal Gear. Like this is what I want. I want the stealth mechanics and everything, and I want
Mm-hmm.
the level to level to feel and everything. I just wanted old Metal Gear. And now that I've been removed from Metal Gear for almost like 15 years, I got rid of all that old stuff because I remember this came out. That's what it was. This came out, and the collection before this, the collection came out. So I played through all the Metal Gears, and then I played this one. And this one's totally different from all those Metal Gears, which I shouldn't have
Mm-hmm.
done. So when I did that, it kind of fucked my viewpoint of Metal Gear 5 up. I love Metal Gear 5 when I first played it. I just didn't like the open worldness. I didn't use the open worldness to its fullest potential, and it was kind of overwhelming to me at the time. But now like I know how to just jump in and tackle certain missions and stuff like that with like different ways and just kind of create my own fun with it. And just do stuff. And then if I have I have a way to run missions now in a certain order that I can have up in my head. I make a plan up and then I go and I execute the plan.
You
And
got
then when
into
I'm
the loop. Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
and when I'm in free play, then I use the sandbox to its fullest advantage because I'm not being scored or anything like that. At the end, I'm not getting like an S rank or anything. When you do free play, you can do side op missions and stuff like that. So I'd be calling in the helicopter. I just be running in guns blazing sometime, depending on what I want to do. Um, so once I figured that gameplay loop out, it was okay. It was fun for me, and yeah, I was having fun with the game, and I didn't drop it because of anything. It's just I found another game that kind of like piqued my interest a little bit more, um, and that's Death Stranding. But I like say that for later. Um, but
I also want to know about that because
yeah,
I've been
I'm gonna
thinking
talk
about
about
playing
that.
it for a while,
Yeah, I'm gonna
and
talk about
seeing you
that in a
playing
minute.
it makes me want to buy it.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. But yeah, Metal Gear 5 is just fun. Like it's his the open world that they have, the mechanics and everything like that was just like they designed everything for everything to be used. And I just like the game because of that. And I think the game actually is better because of the open world. They could have done the missions a little bit better. But I mean, what can you do? I mean, like this was like 2015 game, and I played it as such, and just the options you have. I also been playing Ghostwire Tokyo because that is on. Oh, okay,
Game
cool. Now,
Pass,
yeah, that's on. It's on. Not Game Pass, but what's the PlayStation subscription?
PlayStation.
Yeah, so I've been playing because I got PlayStation Extra because they gave it to me for like $10 or some shit for a fucking year. I don't know. I caught it
Mm,
on sale.
damn.
Uh, yeah, if you have the base version of PlayStation online, they give it away for like dirt cheap because you have that base version.
My
So
subscription went up like in February. I never renewed it because I haven't been
if
playing the game like that.
okay, yeah, if you have the I bought it for a year, the base version. They were like upgrade to the extra for like $10, and I was like, all right, cool, I did it, and I upgraded it for a year, and yeah, you get some of the classic games for free, uh, like all the PlayStation 3 remasters, you get those for free, and some PlayStation 2 games, you get the option to buy PlayStation 2 games and the option to buy PlayStation 1 games. Um,
Wait, so you say you have the action? That's the middle one, right?
yeah,
Okay,
extra is
okay.
the middle one, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
I
I
think
heard that was the one to get because the one after that, like, don't really be giving you
yeah,
anything.
it don't give you that much. You get access to some other games, but like it's not really worth it in my opinion.
It's like the
You
games that been
yeah,
releasing, like, what is that, Stray? That's
yeah,
been on extra. Like,
yeah, that's on
I don't need
extra.
permit for that.
Yeah. So Ghostwire Tokyo was free on extra. And I've been playing Ghostwire Tokyo, and that game's actually I think I wanted to play this game, but I never got around to it because I was playing fucking multiplayer games. So uh I've been playing this game. It's like a detective first person. It's a actual like spell casting game, but you're also like doing detective work in the game. And I'm a sucker for that type of shit. So I'm also gonna try this other game called Disco Elysium that I heard everybody been raving about. It's on PC,
Mm-hmm.
and I really want to play
Mm-hmm.
that game. So I'm gonna try that. But yeah, so Death
You ever
Stranding.
played the Lost Judgment, Last Judgment, that one Yakuza detective game?
No, I heard of it though.
Okay,
Oh,
okay.
you talking about Lost Judgment?
Lost Judgment, yeah,
Lost
something
Judgment.
like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have it. I actually bought that game. I have that game, and I just never played it. Something about the Yakuza games that people are not gonna like. I don't like the bullshit you got to go through. Like I love Yakuza games.
I tried Yakuza 3 and it was the same thing.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like, okay,
it's a
I'm
lot of
straight.
bullshit you got to go through that I don't really like. And it was like cool back when I first played Yakuza, like back in the early days. But like now, it's just like, bro, I don't have time for this dumb shit. Like it is, and it's like quirky, cool, fun stuff to do. But like, I don't know that, like, I don't know. Sometimes I just want to fight people. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's what Lost Judgment is too. It's like it made by the same people, has the same exact style and everything. Um, but yeah, Death Stranding. So this game is one of those games where um it was hyped up, yes, but even if you watch gameplay footage of it, you won't fucking get it. Even if you listen to people talk about it, you won't get it. You have to play the game to get it. It's one of those rare games where I'm like, you gotta try it out, and it's free on extra right now for anybody who wants to play it. Because even Tiara was talking to me about it like last year or 2 years ago when she was playing it, and she was
Mhm.
like, "Y'all just gotta play it. Like I can't explain it to y'all. Y'all gotta play it." So the game it's just like it's crazy. It's like because like the game, bro. Like Kojima, I don't like the dick ride, right? But this nigga Kojima, bro. Like oh, he be on he be on some other shit, bro. Because I played the game when I first loaded into the game, and like he does the mysterious shit, right? Like all the mysterious shit, like Death Stranding or whatever the fuck. You still don't know what the fuck Death Stranding is. You know this cataclysm event happened to America, and or like to the rest of the world as well.
Mhm.
And your person Sam, his name's Sam Porter Bridges. That's the main character's name. My girl call him Walking Dead because he's the dude from Walking Dead.
Yep. Norman.
Yeah. Uh, she call it Walking Dead. But like, yeah, you playing the game, bro, and you are it. sounds this is exactly what it is. You're a glorified UPS person or Amazon worker. Like you are delivering packages. That is the entire game. And that shit
Mm-hmm.
sounds boring as fuck until you play the game and the mechanics around delivering shit and walking. Like, bro, nigga, there is a button for you to like hold your left side and balance your left side. There's a button for that, like one of the triggers. So when you climbing
Hmm.
up the mountains and stuff like that, your character can like walk and balance, and then he can fall, and then the packages will get damaged to fall. So you don't want to do that. So you have like stamina and everything. You have to balance how you walk. And you know, I hike and stuff like that. So like for me, that's like I'm like, oh my God, like what the fuck? Like, so then you have to plan your routes out too. So if you want to go from like one little city to the other little city, you have to plan your route out. And you can put points in the map to plan your route out. You can have like, and then you have a load, equipment load that you can go up to or whatever, and you can put little items on you like those little exoskeleton legs that you see a lot of people use for people to walk. You can put those on you, and then you can hold more equipment or whatever. But the more equipment you hold, the slower you walk. You won't be able to get away from these things called BTs. So the game is not also like just a walking simulator. It's like also like a horror game as well, because sometimes when it starts to rain, that's when you know BTs are in the area and you can't see them. You can sense them, but you can't see them. You can sense them,
Mm.
but you can't see them.
Okay.
So your baby, the little baby thing on you, he detects the little BTs and he points in a direction, like in the general direction where they're at. And then when you got to walk past them, you have to hold your breath or whatever for certain amount of time, but you can't hold your breath all the way because then the person will pass out. Also, when you're just doing regular shit like that or whatever, you have stamina. Sometimes you gotta drink water, drink these fluids or whatever to revitalize your stamina. But the game also gets crazy too, right? Because you're something called a reparant or whatever, and you have certain things, certain like something's in your blood or your DNA to repel the BTs. They don't know what it is. They're trying to figure it out themselves or whatever. Because the world is like, what if we didn't have our parents and we didn't have previous world knowledge and we just woke up today or whatever, and we have the internet and we have nuclear energy and we have all this shit that we have today, but we're like, we don't know how to use this shit, and we know how to use the shit, but we don't know how it really works, and we don't know how to make more new stuff of it. So like the whole game is like you're trying to connect to other cities because you're trying to get back the knowledge of the old world so that you can learn how to do other stuff and everything like that. It's like I'm explaining it crazy, but like when you play the game, you're like, wow, I see what he was really trying to do. Like even with Metal Gear, I saw what he was trying to do. He's really just trying to get people to go to fuck outside. He's like, yo, go outside. So like and talk to people, like connect. That's the whole point of the game is like he wants people to connect.
He been saying that
And
too during the for the whole press run. He was like, it's just
yeah,
about connecting and building bonds and
yes, bro. Because the way you build and this is the genius of the game, right? So you don't directly interact with players, but players' worlds are overlapping with each other, if that makes any sense.
mm-hmm.
So if I have a ladder and I drop a
Like,
ladder
you
over a
talk about,
river,
does this make any sense to me? Come on, man. I like this big dumb science bullshit.
so if I have a ladder and I drop the ladder over a river,
Hmm.
somebody else can see that ladder and cross the river with that ladder, and then they can give me a like. They can literally just like oh, Trail Mix has dropped this ladder, and then they can just like it and
So
be like,
it's
oh,
basically like not Death Souls, but Dark Souls, the whole note system, but like kind of in real time.
yeah, I don't really compare it to Dark Souls, but yeah, that's a good analogy because you can build a bridge, but instead of like Dark Souls, how people control each other in
Hmm.
that game and everything, there is no trolling. Like everybody is helping everybody. Everything that you do, another player can come behind you and improve upon it. So if I drop like
Mm.
a bridge or something like that, another player can come upon it and like level up that bridge to be like a level 3 bridge or something like that. Or if I drop a battery like a power generator that heals like certain battery components of your person, like other people can use that and they can like it or whatever, and then I get rewarded for that. So it rewards the player
Mm.
for helping other players, and it's just crazy. Say if I drop a package off, I know I have a side quest or whatever, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to make it to Port City East. I'm not gonna be able to make it there because I'm tired of it, and I'm just not gonna be able to make it there. The BTS in the area keep fucking me up. I can put my package and pass the package forward to somebody, and somebody can deliver on my behalf, and we both get credit for it.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, and then you
man, this actually sounds like the type of game that I was looking for, Maya. Like this seems like just a chill, thought
it
provoking
is
game.
it is a chill, like thought provoking game. It can be chill and then it can be tense at times because then you have other people on the map, all the other NPCs rather on the map called mules who are addicted to delivering packages, so they will attack you.
Give me
Like
that
the game
package.
is just crazy, bro. It's just a weird game. So like, yeah, so then you would go into like like you're going to the city and then like you're going to something called your private room. So you have an option to take a shower, pee, and shit. But when you do that, it gives you something called EX grenades. And they're like they explain it in the game, like, oh, we see that the DNA, since you're a reparant or whatever, the DNA can help ward off BTs. So like your shit like gives you level 2 grenades to ward off BTs, and then your piss give you level 1, and then your sweat and all your dirt and everything when you take a shower gives you level 0 grenades or whatever. And then your blood, you can walk around with blood packs on you, and then you can drain blood out of yourself and turn those into something called a like I forgot what it's called, something like an H grenade. I'm just calling it H grenade. You can call it H grenade, and you throw it at a BT, and it can kill the BT because like your blood is like has something in your blood that makes them go crazy, and like you can kill them with it. But you can't just walk around with like 500 grenades on you and like kill every BT you come across. All right, we had like a technical difficulty there. Sorry about that. So I know I stopped off for like if your pee, your piss or whatever, grenades. So yeah, and then you have more powerful grenades that you get from your blood that you can use to kill the BTs. But you can't just carry 500 blood packs on you and grenades because you got to carry other stuff. You can
Hmm.
actually go anemic in the game and die or like die or faint from that or whatever. And like death in this game is not really death. So it's just like because there is a certain like in the cutscenes. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, whatever, but yeah, like people are. I would just say people are more scared to go for the get caught by the BTS and everything like that than death. So I don't know, and we still know. I still haven't uncovered why or whatever the case may be. But yeah, like
That's Death Stranding too, baby.
yeah, I know, right? But yeah, the game, man, like it's definitely worth checking out. I think anybody who's just looking for like a chill time, but like also moments of like tenseness, um, yeah, just check it out because the game rewards you for just being a good player and for being nice to other players. Like it's a really and yeah, the whole point of the game is like it's the opposite. It's multiplayer, but it's like the opposite of the multiplayer that we all know. Like, oh, you gotta fucking kill that person and everything like that, or you're going to get hordes of enemies and
It's
there's
co-op.
only 4 of you guys. It's like a co-op game, but for the world. Like everybody's trying to you know help everybody out and stuff like that. And I kind of like that. I think that's a really cool game. The way he did it. Um, I think the presentation helps it a lot. I can see why people live by this game. Like I see why this game has a dedicated following. It's just one of those games you got to play. Like even me explaining it doesn't do it justice because you might get a different feeling from the game. But when I played it, like I was like 5 hours in, I was just like, oh my god, I get it. I fucking get it. I was actually like
I'm
2 hours in, and I was like, I get this game. I'm like, oh my god,
I'm gonna
these
try it
dudes are
out for sure
ingenious, bro.
because it's like I said, it's definitely been on my mind. Then seeing you playing it, like seeing someone that I know playing a game that I wanted to play but have yet to play, makes me
Yeah,
want to play it now. So I'm like, yeah. I just looked at it, it's like $18. I'm about to just go to GameStop and pick up that physical copy because I don't like that digital shit.
man, get used to it, buddy.
I know, I know. I buy it when I can, but like if I can get the physical copy, I'd rather just go ahead and just pick
If
it
I
up.
were yeah, I really would recommend, and I think I recommend it to Justin as well. I recommend like PlayStation Extra. it's a lot of games in there that I missed. Like I'm playing Kena now. Uh,
Oh, I want to play that.
I'm playing Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. That's
That's
free.
like, oh, that game's so good.
Yeah,
It's a Ratchet and Clank game, but you know.
yeah. No, it reminded me why I love Ratchet and Clank.
Hmm.
I really want to know the technology behind that fucking Rift porting, that Rift thing they do. I really want to know the technology. I know it has something to do with the SSD, but I want to see the science behind how they do that shit. Because
It's
that
kind
shit,
of I
when I do it in game, I'm trying to I do it on purpose just to try to figure it out. I'm like, what are they doing? Am I transporting to that part, or
yes,
am I pulling the level towards me? Like,
it is you are transport. So when it comes to when you pulling it, think
yeah,
of it like it's at that fixed point. You are moving, the character is moving to that point, and once you get to that point, it's nothing but a portal, right?
yeah,
Unreal has something like this. It's basically what, since you have SSD now, right?
yeah,
And this is like the shit people was talking about when they was comparing the Spider Man and the Grand Theft Auto shit. I was like, man, shut the fuck up. Like what Spider Man is doing is completely fucking different. Like they are talking about low in completely different parts of the stages instantaneously. Fucking Grand Theft Auto wasn't doing that. It was still a loading screen. The character switch was a loading screen, and people
yeah.
did comparisons already. That shit didn't get better until like the PS5 update, right? uh, but all it is that whatever that porter is for the half of the Rift, the image that you are seeing is literally a camera, whatever they have placed there, showing you that other location. So when you are moving, you are seeing that other location in real time, and that other location is loaded specifically in that portal. And since you have like the better storage and you have the literally the SSD is able to load that shit. And since that shit is integrated within the motherboard, like it has basically direct connection to the fucking RAM, it's able to just load these levels that fast, as you see, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so all it is it's a portal, just like the Portal games. Once they get into it, it's just besides you transporting yourself into the same level, it's just transporting yourself into another level. It's literally Portal, but more advanced. And
Okay.
it's the same thing like with Spider-Man as well. Like it's kind of like Portal. It's literally Portal, but more advanced because it's within the same level, and you could try and you would be able to load between Miles and Peter no matter where they at. Like it's just you press your button and it's there. It's no load screens. It's just 1 second later or less than a second, it's there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, that was I was I didn't really trip. I didn't. I saw people complaining about it or like saying like, "Oh, but Grand Theft Auto already did this." I didn't really say anything. I'm like, they did it, but I don't fucking care because I can switch between Peter and Miles. So I just really didn't fucking care about the switching. I was just like, that's cool. I could do that. I'm pretty sure there's points to the story where I can't switch to Peter. I'm pretty sure there's points to the story where I can't switch to Miles. I don't know. That was just a weird thing that a lot of people latched onto in that whole conference or
it's
whatever.
the fanboys, man.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that I'll be happy when I see tech shit people taking advantage of technology. I like seeing cool shit, man. I don't care if it's Microsoft, Nintendo.
I'm the
Like again,
same.
you said it last week about when the developers was talking about Nintendo and how like how you do this on the Switch in a 10 GB game, and people can't
Bro,
even do
that
this
the
on.
shit that people be doing in Zelda is still like even like the Breath of the Wild that was amazing, but like Tears of the Kingdom is on a totally fucking different level. Like they're doing shit in that game where I'm just like, how do the developers do? They must.
You still I'm about close to 70 hours in, and then
Mhm.
I'm doing this one last sage, right? The sage dungeon.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I spoil this little thing? It's like I'm sorry.
Nah, don't. Nope.
Okay.
Nope. I
Well,
can't. I can't let you do it, bro.
all right. Because it like it's gameplay based, but it is story based as well, right? But either way, I'm
Yeah.
doing one of the sages, right? It's one of the last ones. The crazy thing is that you don't have to do this last. You get this sage last if you follow through the story and like beat the story normally, like when you beat the dungeons and shit.
Yeah.
And they give you this sage, right? They say, okay, here's one more to do, but you can just skip this shit, like and just straight do them, and it's so fucking dope. So I'm doing this shit, and as I'm doing this stage, I am finding out new things about the game that I can do that I didn't know. That like I probably could have figured out earlier in the game, but it's the puzzles they have in the game that just makes you feel dumb and smart at the same time. You know?
Yeah.
Oh
No,
man,
yeah.
just
See that, and that's why I really want to play it because I didn't get. I will like. I'm gonna say I just Tears of the Kingdom, not Tears of the Kingdom, but Breath of the Wild. Something was like missing for me, and I feel like Tears of the Kingdom is what was missing from what I've seen so far.
hmm
So
I would
first
agree
of
with
all,
you.
like I'm not gonna be able to play it for the next couple of weeks because I bought it for my girl, so she's gonna be playing it. She beat Breath of the Wild. So
Oh
I
man,
didn't even know that.
you gonna be not playing this for a couple of months because you're gonna be on it for a while.
Unless
She
I
gonna be
buy
on
her
it.
own Switch, which I might do.
And like this
Uh,
the story, how they have it set up is much. It's a little bit more in depth. And so
mhm.
if she just play it like how I'm just playing it regular, and you doing like shrines, because the shrines are literally puzzles, like the puzzles in the regular Zelda dungeons, right? Every
Yeah.
shrine is a puzzle, or it's a combat challenge, or some shit like that. And so I'm doing puzzles, getting my upgrades, the dungeons are so fun, my trail. The dungeons are so fucking fun, and they so creative, and beautifully designed. But yeah, yeah, she's gonna be on it for a while. I'm trying to rush through it because Final Fantasy is coming out, but like I've been playing like an hour or so a day,
Yeah.
two
So
hours maybe.
you say you really want to talk about it, so talk about it.
Okay, man. So
No spoilers though.
all right, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I want to toot my own horn real quick because I think all my life I've been liking games and properties that people don't like at first, but come around years later and fucking love. And so that being said, because Majora's Mask is one of them, and right now everybody that I see is fucking playing with the Majora's Mask outfit in Tears of the Kingdom, and it's so fucking funny. But one thing that I do like about Tears of the Kingdom is that it has what I like from an open world game. This is what I like of an I like this in the Breath of the Wild, but I really like in the Tears of the Kingdom because they actually try it, right? You have more
Yeah.
content in the game. But this is why I like Cyberpunk. This is why I like Mass Effect. This is why I like Metal Gear Solid 5. It's because you have these open world games and it's the attention to detail they put in open world games, and everything has a purpose and has a meaning, right? It's like when you and what makes Zelda fun is exploring, right? Just walking around and seeing. And in the first one, you had this shit, just walking around, and it was always shit to catch your eye because mainly you are going to like whatever your next target. But between you going from one target to the next, there's something. If you just walking or riding your horse, there's something that catch your eye that may take you off the beaten path. And this game has a lot more of that, and it's better design. Um, so one the dungeons. The dungeons is what I thought they was going to be from Breath of the Wild from the DLC. If you play the last dungeon in the DLC, it's what I thought the Breath of the Wild dungeons should have been. Right? It was way more bigger than the Breath of the Wild dungeons, and it had more complex puzzles to solve. Right? And it was like, hey, besides you kind of solving these generic puzzles and flicking a switch, you have more larger complex puzzles. Like think of it like how you just solve one puzzle to flick one switch or Breath of the Wild. Like if that whole dungeon was just one room to flick that one switch, right?
Mhm.
That's what the DLC was, and the boss battle was sweet. This game is the same thing, right? If you play this game, I recommend everyone get the sky people first, right? Because you get everyone abilities, right? You beat the dungeon, you get an ability from that stage, right? And then you just use that in the world because they follow you around. They will help you in combat. Then you go next to them, and then you press the button again. When you go next to them, press the button to activate the ability. Press it again to use it, right? And the air one is the best one to get because he just gives you a vertical, I mean, a horizontal fucking gust. So if you flying through the air, it's just fucking super helpful. Helps you traverse a lot better, right? Outside of that, dungeon design. The air one has the Gorons. The fire one has the best dungeon. And oh, bro, the way that you get down there. So this is how every dungeon is set up, right? You, you, bro, it's so good, Montreal, because I'm trying not to spoil it. Because so when you go to the place, it's not like you just start the dungeon. It's like you got a dungeon set up, and the dungeon set up getting to the dungeon, right? Because like you literally have to travel to the dungeon, and doing that is a big puzzle and a challenge just getting there. So it's like it's this fun gameplay loop just to get to the dungeon. Then once you get in a dungeon, you got this big playground that you can tackle any way. Literally, it's like it's no keys or nothing. It's just like me dropping you downtown Detroit and be like, have fun. You know, you can go to the Renaissance Center, you can go to Cobo Hall, you can go up to Lafayette's Coney Island, right? You could go to Greektown. Like the way that you tackle the dungeons is the same way how they want you to approach playing a game. Just like do it how you want. There's 5 switches. Complete them. Some of them it's always one switch that you can't complete until the very end, and that's a switch that's either on the first level or on the first basement level, right? And so you go through all the other switches. The fire dungeon is dope, right? This dope ass fucking real minecart fucking lava based dungeon. The Montreal is it's really one of those games that like that you have to play. How you said with Death Stranding, right?
Mhm.
It's one of those games that you have to play because playing it made me realize as an adult how critical we take games, right? Uh, because mainly in the shrines, and even when you're trying to solve these dungeons, right, trying to get in these rooms, and make you realize how we overcomplicate things, how we overthink things as gamers, right?
Yeah.
How we don't know how to just sit there and enjoy and have fun.
Yep.
Um, and this game makes you think like a kid, right? It This is the best example that I can give, right? You remember when you was a kid and you played any game and you made the game what it is, like even if the game was bad, like you just found your own fun and you would do shit in your head and just like Grand Theft Auto, right? For example, when I used to play Vice City, yes, you used to do the missions and shit, but like if
Bro, I'll
I'm
be honest,
playing the
I
game.
never did the vent mission.
Okay, so before I used to do the missions, right? Before I was playing the game, I used to just drive around, fucking around. I used to have the steering wheel, so I used to act like I was driving like it was real life and shit. Like you found your own fun. Like it was just fun to be in that sandbox in that world, right?
Yeah.
Open world games, I think they have a lot of problem with this. Just open world, they're not really trying to make a good open world. Horizon Zero Dawn, I would say the open world is beautifully designed. It is your standard open world, but the design of it makes it fun to play in, right? Or at least tolerable to play in compared to other open worlds. Games like Cyberpunk, Zelda, and Mass Effect, right? This shit, when I say design, I mean like artistically designed for Horizon. Gameplay design, the loop mechanically designed, the open world for these games are top notch, and it has like this influence on the artistic design as well. So just fucking and with the new abilities, like first you don't play Breath of the Wild. If you never played Breath of the Wild, just play Tears of the Kingdom. Breath of the Wild will fuck up your experience playing Tears of the Kingdom just because it's one of those things like when you know how to play a game, but if you haven't came back for a while, you kind of forgot how to play and your brain would kind of
Yeah.
fuck up. Like
Yeah.
that will happen, especially if you play them in succession, right? Just go straight to Tears of the Kingdom. You not missing nothing in Breath of the Wild. Like even how they tell the story, it's kind of like Breath of the Wild story didn't happen. Besides the events of where the story started, where it's like, hey, Link and Zelda is back together, and then hey, like something happened and they are not together anymore, and that happens at the beginning of the game. But literally everything that happens in that game doesn't matter. At least you want to know who the sages are, because when you do the dungeons in the first ones, you will interact with the sages that's in
Hmm.
this. Like it's, but outside of that, don't fucking play that game. Just play this one. It's the better game.
Okay.
Um, but what I was saying about the kid shit, right? Just as you playing this game with those mechanics, right? The new Archer hand mechanic that you use, it's the new magnesis shit, right? But it's for everything. You can pick everything up and you can fuse shit together. That's what people are using to build the Gundam shit. Then you got something called the Archer hand, like auto builder, that every time you build something, it stores it for you. And so you can just build something. And then if you have the pieces around you, it just auto builds it for you. So you don't have to keep building it, right? Um, and then they have this one where you can just go through any roof or any cellar. And they literally put that in the game because it was a debug tool. They was like, oh, let's just actually make it an actual ability. Uh, this game is so well designed because out of all, and even with the rewind ability, right? Out of all the core abilities that Link has, the world is designed to prevent you not to exploit it and to use the ability to still fullest potential at the same time. And especially that one, that fucking one that you can go straight through the roof, right? Uh, and so playing puzzles, especially when you think you can get over on them, and then they design a world around it so you can't get over on them. And then they have specific ways to beat the puzzles, but then you could come up with your own way to solve the puzzles. Like there's Montrell, have you ever played a puzzle game where there was more than one way to beat it? That puzzle? And then if it was more than one way, let's say you had two or three ways to beat the puzzles. About every puzzle in this game has 10 plus ways, 15 plus ways to beat it. That's the beauty of it, right? Is that like it's literally how you look at the world and how you are able to solve, how you're able to problem solve. Basically when it comes down to it. And then once you start getting used to the physics systems and the interactivity of stuff and just interactivity of everything in the world, like it makes you see a video game different. This is why Zelda is a good game, right? And for people who talk shit on that, like this is why most people will never get. And I'm trying my best as a person who's developing games and study games to explain why this game is good. But mainly it is the interactivity that I would say, the experience that you have from playing it. Like it really do make you think like a kid, Montreal. And I fucking just play a shit ton of good games. I just play God of War and all these other fucking good games, triple A games, right? And I know I'm about to play Final Fantasy and love it, but like this game and like it's no other game like it. It's no other game like it, and that's like I'm not trying to like dick suck or anything, but like there's literally no other game like Zelda, and that's why it's getting the praise it is. The bro, just you just gotta play it, Montreal. It's just
I'm gonna play it.
it's
I'm definitely
like
gonna play it.
yeah, it's a real improvement for Breath of the Wild. I understand as a Zelda person why you don't like Breath of the Wild, but I see this as what Ocarina of Time was, right? It was like, yes, it's a new 3D Zelda game, but it's not making that same 3D Zelda structure of the old dungeons that we like, right? Like, no, it is about the physics systems. It is about them trying to, because they literally, it is a story to this. Like, it's crazy. It's not the best, but it's like they are actually trying to tell a story here, right? I feel
Hmm.
like they about to make a third game. I feel like like they're going to finish this off with a 30. That's what it feels like. But
Really? Okay.
if not, I can see this being a new Zelda structure, right? And so
Well, they did say that they're gonna they're modeling the next Zelda games after this one, like how they did Ocarina of Time. Then they modeled everything off of that.
I would like to
I
see
think,
what Zelda goes with this because
yeah.
this right here is it. This is it. Um, as long they cannot fuck up the physics systems like that. You know how I talk about the
I
Zelda
mean,
and
I
Mario
don't think
thing.
they. I don't think they are, bro. I think because what I think they're gonna do is like I think the next Switch is gonna be revealed later on this year, and that Switch is going to be even more powerful. And then we're gonna see what they can do with that. What they can do with that Switch. I don't think it's going to. You know, I think like Zelda and Mario are the games they do to push tech to show
Hmm.
like the full potential of the tech without showing it. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I can agree with that. I can agree with that because all Zelda games are. It's like, hey, here's like this complicated Zelda and Mario games. It's like, hey, here's this complicated mechanic that we are trying to create. It doesn't make any sense, and usually that mechanic will go on to influence the game industry somehow. And I already saw someone building the Archer Hand mechanic in Unreal, and he got that shit damn near working just like the fucking game. So you already know there's going to be other developers doing this shit. Imagine there's going to be like a Minecraft game with the Zelda building mechanics type shit. Like it's going to happen. It's going to happen. But yeah, Zelda, great game, great game. I can't fucking give more praise to Zelda. Um, Outside of Zelda, the other game that I've been playing is Paragon. Predecessors, actually, of course, I've been playing that.
Mhm.
Said that last time. Ain't nothing changed. I've been getting in some more DPS roles, which is dope. So I'm guessing now, since the game has been out for a while, people are finally settling into roles they actually play. And so I do wish it has a queue. It's like, hey, let me just queue for DPS and just get my role. Besides, hey, the game loads and then I gotta like kind of mash and click for my queue. And then if I pick DPS, someone else can have DPS. And then after the selection is over, it was just gives the DPS role to one of us, right?
Mhm.
I hate playing any other role if it's not DPS or solo. I will play support. I would love to play support, but like jungle and mid lanes were like my no go roles. So it's been great playing more DPS games. I've been this past week I've been losing a lot. I don't know what the fuck happened. It's like I went on a bad losing streak. I
Hey
lost like
man, I
four
just think
games
it's
in
the
one day.
matchmaking. I just think matchmaking nowadays in multiplayer games were designed instead of just designed for optimized fun and stuff. They're designed to like get you addicted.
It's skill based. It is skill
Yeah.
based, and it was like, and you was talking about this of Call of Duty last week, and when you said it, I was like, you said something about matchmaking. You know what? So I was like, it's because it's skill based matchmaking between from the Call of Duty 4 days to now. Like it's all like MMR based and shit like that, right?
Hmm.
For games like Paragon or predecessor, I like that, right? Especially if it's rank, right? But like for quick play, I kind of don't like. It's kind of fun to like to I don't know, like someone can be on the other team to be overpowered. Like I don't mind playing against a grandmaster player because if I outplay you, I fucking outplay you. Like for me, I'm a platinum player, right? I just got dropped down to gold, right? And this is why I had a bad all those bad games, right? Because on the back end, looking at my MMR, I finally got into platinum, and so I start playing more platinum and up players besides gold and platinum players, and
Yeah.
so it is a difficulty change, which I appreciate. But like, it would be dope if I get into a match and I play like a grandmaster because when I see a diamond player and I'll play like I'm playing DPS and I'll play a diamond DPS player, that shit makes me feel good. Like, cause like that just shows you I'm more skillful than you. You just probably only at this rate because you put more time into the game than me. Like, I know how to play. I know how to read the map. Like, I have I have oh my gosh, what is it called? What is it called? Gameplay skill? No, I cannot think of the actual word right now. But my IQ, when it comes to playing these competitive games, is actually pretty fucking high, right?
Yeah.
I believe. So I know with any game I'm playing, I am placing in platinum when it comes to competitive. It's just because I'm a competitive person. I would like to climb, but I just don't have the time for that shit, especially since I'm an adult. But like, I wish quick plays would just be more quick play and exhibition-y, right? Because that shit, as a competitive person, eggs me on if I'm outplaying somebody who's better than me, right? That shit makes me feel good. Then if I'm losing, I can surrender. Shit. But outside of that, as I said, I'm playing Cyberpunk. Again, Montreal. I recommend you playing this game. I tweeted this out before that I want Mass Effect to be where Cyberpunk is. If Mass Effect is not what Cyberpunk is, I want Mass Effect to be good. But like if Mass Effect is what Cyberpunk is, I would be happy as fuck. And if it's not, I would be mad as shit. Because Cyberpunk gets everything right for the moment to moment gameplay. The your character actually means something, right? So dude, Montreal, your character actually feels like Commander Shepard, right? Uh so this is the first game where I had the feeling of what I had of Mass Effect. What I feel like the choices that I made matter, right? With my main crew, and then the side missions. So one, you can just play the game straight through, probably beat it in like 6 hours, right? But every character that you are introduced with, right? Every character is introduced in the main mission, right? But once you're introduced with them, every character has their own story, which is the side missions. This is how you get like involved in the game. This is how this game become like a 30, 40 plus hour game, right? Because literally everyone you meet and people you meet inside missions would chain off and have their own missions because everybody is living their own lives, right? Like literally the world is lived in. It sounds so dumb to say that because if you never played a game like this, and this is what I'm talking about with Zelda and Metal Gear Solid, these are games that's defining like open world game design, right? Because if and with Cyberpunk being first person, like just it's icing on the cake, but like you play the game. I think your crew is probably like because you got Pam, M, Judy. You have that one cop. You have like Rosie. So you probably have like five people, right? Five or so people that you mainly interact with. That's a part of your crew, right? And then you have different romance options. And then they will romance you depending on if you're male or female. And then if you are a male or female, depending on if you have a male or female body as well.
Mm.
And so right now, my first game, my main character was a female. I'm playing through my second playthrough, and she was a nomad. My second playthrough is a street kid and is a male, and I'm trying to romance Pam Mam. That's that thick fucking brown
Mm.
skin chick that you've been seeing, right? So I'm trying to go for her, right? After I'm just playing through the game, so basically I can go through her, and I'm still trying to kind of make decisions. But like I'm playing it for a refresher, just so when the DLC comes out, I can pick back up with my main chick. But they made so many upgrades that this is what the games. If the game were to release like this, and I'm pretty sure you would have said this of Battlefield. The game, if Battlefield were to release like this, that would have been fire, right? If Cyberpunk were to release like this, people would love it way more, and like the whole perception of it would have been different. Uh, it's just like Fallout when it comes to how you built your own class, right? How you have all the different classes. Then your class is being built based on how you are upgrading your character. So it's not like, hey, you're picking a rogue. Like, no, motherfucker, you got to build the rogue. Like, um, it is a first person shooter. The gunplay and the hand to hand, the one to one of a first, the one to one gameplay moments, combat wise, feels good with Cyberpunk. It's one of those that once you get hours into the game, that's when it really gets fun. I never really played a Fallout game, so I don't know if that power scaling feels like that. But when you first playing through Cyberpunk, don't play through stealth. Don't even think about playing through this game. So if you can do stealth shit, but upgrade everything else, right? Play through this game at first like a first person shooter. Once you get to act 2, you will be strong enough where you can actually start to when you have like nice upgrades where you can start playing the way that you want to, whether you're a big brawler or a fucking hacker and shit like that. And the hacks that you can do, man, it's like Zelda, right? When you're seeing people creating all this crazy stuff in Zelda, that's what Cyberpunk is combat wise. It's like the shit that you can do in Cyberpunk. You don't think you can do it until you do it or see other people do it. It's like, damn, you can do that shit, and it makes you experiment, and that's what's fun about it, right? And so you got main upgrade trees, which is like the brawler tree, the hacker tree, right, and then inside of those upgrades, you have the main points that you spend to upgrade, and that's like your intelligence and shit like that, right? All those dumb names that they have for it, right? Um, and so inside the intelligence, for instance, is your hacking tree, and so inside of there, you have points that you can upgrade as a skill tree, and that has its own currency. What's dope about this is that to you have to level up each ability. So each tree. So it's for me to level up my intelligence, I gotta hack more, and that levels up my intelligence, and that gives you like more damage or faster cooldowns and things of that nature, right? And it shows all that shit at the bottom. But then you also have to use your abilities more, and it makes your abilities become slightly stronger because that also upgrades your fucking your skill tree. So it rewards you for playing the way that you want to, and so the more that you specifically play, your character would be OP in that way, but they won't be OP'd another way. And so even if I put all my points into a brawler and I got all the stats I can do brawler wise, right? If I never really using any of my brawler stuff, like, but your character would can play completely different than my character, and you would be able to do completely different things because you have to level up. Skill wise, you have to level up your tree to be able to use certain moves and certain equipment, right? So it's not like
Mhm.
just, hey, I'm putting the points into it, and since I have the points that you use to upgrade your skill tree is being able to buy the stuff inside the skill tree, but you still have to use the actual skills to be able to do other things like have certain modifications or buy certain things. And the whole system, Montreal, and the crafts are like, man, it's fun. It is literally a baby of cyberpunk meets Fallout, Fallout New Vegas specifically. Uh, the the best missions in the games is a side missions. Like right now, I forgot I left off on this mission. I'm on this mission when this people is getting indoctrinated, right? And so you started off because they wanted you to spy on something because her husband is running for mayor, and she think he's about to get killed. And then by the end of the mission, and you hacking into their space, you find out the motherfuckers is indoctrinating them. They sending radio waves, and oh my trill, it gets this. This game gets here. It is, I believe, it's your type of game story wise, especially with all the shit. Like you say, you like detective shit. Like you do a lot of detective work in this game, but like the whole
Mhm.
conspiracy stories, the big corporation, fucking capitalism, fucking. Did you see Spider Punk yet? I mean, I said Spider Punk, Spider Man
I
yet?
did
The new.
no, I didn't see the movie
Fucking,
yet.
this is Spider Punk. This Spider Punk will love this game. But like, yeah, bro. I hate to say it, like Cyberpunk is that game. To me, it is my favorite game of this generation. Out of all the games that I played so far, it is my game of the PS5 generation, or this whole generation of console game. There's no game to me that came out, chat. I said Zelda is the first game, or the first game in a while that actually feels like a next gen game, right? Because all these other games just been feeling like sequels to PS4 and Xbox One games, right?
Yeah.
Cyberpunk feels like a next gen game. Cyberpunk is a next gen game from how the mechanics is work, how the world is designed, how beautiful that shit looks. And now since everything works, how everything just fucking works, man. The economy behind, like, it's a good game. It's a good game. I hate the start that I have. And Zelda again is another game that's just fucking a literally next gen game. This is not a game that you would see people try to develop on a fucking PS4, because we see the type of games people are developing, the God of Wars and shit like that. And like that's what I'm excited for Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy seems like hopefully a next gen game. Hopefully, I'm just praying that that's not like a PS4 game, like a hyper polished PS4 game. I want this to feel like a next gen game, because that's what I'm ready for that shit. I'm getting tired of these. I haven't played Resident Evil 4, so I don't know if you play that. I don't know if that's like a next gen game, but I'm ready for something new. I'm ready for like people
No,
to.
it's a next gen game. They completely redesigned the game for the better, and
Okay.
I think it's a next gen game. I
Okay.
what I think just to like kind of we gotta keep going in a little
Yeah.
bit, but just to kind of like piggyback off what you said. I don't know if I said this in chat or if I said this on the show, but I do feel like the games that we're getting now are the games that we were promised uh
during COVID.
during not during COVID, but during the Xbox One and PS4 generation.
Mm,
Or even the 360 and fucking PS3 generation, because what we expected from those games, uh well, I'll say the Xbox One and PS4 generation. What we expected from those games is what we were getting now. We expected those games to be mind blowing and everything like that. And I feel like if those games, like for instance, right, Watch Dogs, if Watch Dogs had it came out today before it came out back in
if
2020.
it was that first announcement was
Yes.
like during
If
like the PS5 or Xbox
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. That vision that they had for the game could have been executed because now we
Mhm.
have the technology for that. It was another game I was thinking about that they just didn't have the technology for at the time. But like Watch Dogs is a great example of that. Like all the shit that you can do in that game. Because I was watching like a Ubisoft, like the Ubisoft Lives videos or whatever, right? And it's like it was another game was like Rainbow Six. And that game's actually doing really well now. But I remember what we were promised, like, you can break through any parts of the floors and everything like that. Like now that is possible. But now since the game's like an esport, they can't really do that. They can't really change the formula of the game now. But
Hmm.
like that stuff is now possible to do because we have technology and SSDs and all this other stuff. Like engines have, made great strides. So and there are plenty of other games too that wanted to push the boundaries, but they
I
just
mean,
didn't have
Final
the tech.
Fantasy has been always been that one. That's why I'm really hyped for Final Fantasy 16 because
Yeah,
it
like
really
Final
seems
Fantasy.
like what they was trying to do all these years.
Exactly. See, that's a really good example actually. Final Fantasy 15. If it came out today, first of all, you remember the initial trailer when he was
Dude, what
throwing
Final
when he
Fantasy
was
13 honestly is what Final Fantasy 6 what they've been showing in 16. Like this is the shit they've been trying to make
yeah, this is
since
the shit they've been trying to make. But you remember the first, like, not the first trailer, but like the second trailer when he was like
throwing
dodging water
water.
in the building. Yeah, and he was like going from building to building and shit like that, and he was like doing crazy shit in there or whatever, right? Like that shit should have been possible. That shit is possible now. If they were to remake Final Fantasy like in his original vision, Final Fantasy 15 is his original vision or Final Fantasy versus 13 or whatever the case may be. Um, I think it would have been way better than what we got, in my opinion. Like I know you like Final Fantasy
But
15, but in my opinion, it would have been way better than what we got. And a lot of I can say that for a lot of games, not just. I feel like Mass Effect series, right? That's a series that was suffered heavily because of the console that it was on and everything of that nature. Even Andromeda, if they
the
if
Mass
they
Effect
remade,
literally they technology of No Man's Sky for like travel, right? We can actually travel besides
yes,
that
we can
loading
actually
screen,
do
right?
that stuff now.
Oh damn, Metro, you
Yeah,
getting me
and
hyped
like
for that shit. Ooh,
If Andromeda had that
I can't wait.
technology and if they had to wait another generation for Andromeda and they be like, we're going to skip this generation, we're just going to wait to the next generation or whatever the fuck, right? And Andromeda that came out today, I think Andromeda would have been well received because both me and you like Andromeda, but we just hate the writing. Like
Dude,
the
the
writing's not
combat.
there. The combat is
I'm
that
saying
combat.
the best thing that I like about Andromeda's story was at the very end. If you help everyone, no motherfuckers actually showed up during the final fight, and they will help
Yeah,
you.
that they will help you. Yeah,
And then, oh, bro, that was the best thing. That was like it made me feel worth it by actually doing that side shit,
I feel
right?
like the story of Andromeda was actually the whole premise behind it was actually pretty solid. I just didn't like the character interactions and they kept trying. What Andromeda should have did, bro. I'm sorry, this is not an Andromeda podcast. What Andromeda should have did, yo, like Andromeda should have went totally like left field and like they shouldn't even follow the format of the first three games. Still have like the elements and all the RPG mechanics and everything like that, but they should have just went like you're the Pathfinder. You don't have fucking time for like crewmates or whatever the fuck, or I don't know, just like do some weird shit. Like just
It's a
like
solo thing, yeah. Like
yeah, like they were trying to recreate Garrus. They were trying to recreate Rex. They were trying to recreate all these characters instead of just making brand new characters of their own. And I understand
I'm
you're
about
trying
to
to
tell
cater to the
you
old
what
to
I
the
thought it was
old.
going to be, right?
Yeah.
One, capturing the old, right? The only
Yeah,
thing that they needed was what they already had when you had the one the video diaries and VR was telling you about what's happening. I was like, okay, cool. Like that's dope closure, right? We know is why that we know that they left right before everything happens. And know we know now that they in Andromeda and the Reapers and all this shit attack, so they don't know what happens, right?
yeah,
But like you change the combat feels completely different in any Mass Effect game, right? It's like to me, it's an improvement in Mass Effect 3 because Mass Effect 3 fucking plays flawless.
yeah,
But you change the combat plays completely different. And you was pitching this game about this one Pathfinder, and when they showed that first initial trailer, because it was like they showed like that first mission with you being like the very first mission when you Pathfinder. I'm like, oh yeah, this is going to be like a solo fucking Mass Effect game. That's dope. That's kind of what I always wanted, right? And then I was hoping that maybe like because they did add multiplayer. I don't know how the multiplayer was fucking trash.
it
but I'm
was
like,
trash.
but I'm like, oh shit, we about to have this solo Mass Effect player, and then that would be dope if I can bring my fucking character into the multiplayer, and then we everybody just be playing with our multiplayer character, kind of like what they did with Mass Effect, not Mass Effect 5, but Metal Gear Solid 5. But
Yeah, yeah.
they
I
dropped the
mean,
ball. Like like you said, it should have been like it shouldn't have been mad. It
it
should
should
have
have
been
been
completely
something
different.
totally different. Like they could have went the richer route. They could have went the cyberpunk route as far as storytelling, and we could have had all those great storytelling elements. But
They should have did a
we
Reckoning War or the First Contact War.
yeah, they should have did something like that. I don't know. I think they should have went back into the past, and I wouldn't mind that either. But yeah, but okay, let's get on to the story is the Summer Games Fest, y'all. So that dropped today, and I don't know. I guess before we get started, like DJ, how did you watch the whole thing?
I watched the whole thing when I came
Oh,
back. So I didn't watch it live, and so I
okay.
wasn't
So
really paying attention to it. So like the stuff that I paid attention to, I did.
okay,
Um,
so like, how did you feel about it?
I mean, it was cool. This is the pacing of the show, though. This is dead ass the pacing of the show. Big game, a shit ton of like mediocre games, or not mediocre games, but a big game that they explain. Here's a ton of trailers, and like most of these trailers are games that you may or may not care about. And then it was the ads, and then it was like another big game, and it was like that same loop, right? Uh, all the big games they showed was dope. All the side games they showed was just like regular trailers, so it wasn't no explanation behind none of them. Some of those side games was dope to see. But outside of that, all the out the big games they show, I'm glad they actually spent time to explain some of the stuff. And once we get to more to combat, like we talk on that. But it was a okay press conference. Like
All right.
it was more informational than anything, and
Yeah,
I
yeah,
appreciate that.
it was more informational. I do appreciate him. I just think it's a time and a place. I don't think like I like talking to the developers about their games, but I think that should be like a more so like,
Afterwards,
hey, afterwards thing. Like during the conference, people want to see like, good shit or whatever. I mean, there are certain people you bring out, and unfortunately, in my opinion, I know a lot of people may disagree with this. In my opinion, none of those people he brought out were like Kojima or Miyazaki level. Like, if you bring those people out and you talk to us about them, people are going to be like glued to their seats, like,
I'm
yo,
telling you, when Ed Boon was on the screen, I'm like, "Oh shit, what are you talking about? He about to talk about the game."
yeah. Like Ed Boon is a good example, right? Like when Ed Boon came on the screen, everybody was like, "Oh my fucking god, Ed Boon's on the screen! Oh my god, fucking god, like, what's he about to do?" You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think like he needs to do hit more heavy hitters like that, and I understand like you're trying to get more people, those developers, that type of level. I think I can't remember his name, but the Insomniac guy, I think he's on his way to being
Yeah,
there
because
because
Brian or something. Yeah, because I forget his name.
yeah,
But
I forget
yeah,
his name too, but I think he's going to become a household name in
yeah.
like the next 5 years, in my opinion, because we were talking about it, and Insomniac, they don't miss. Only
Mm-mm.
game they had was like Fuse, and that wasn't their fault.
That
So it's
was EA
like
fault.
that was EA's fault. So like they haven't missed at all. And I think he's been like with that company for a while. I don't know if he's been there since the beginning, but he's been with their company for a while. So but let's get on to it. So the first game they showed, we're just gonna cover some of the big announcements, and you guys can actually go on gamesradar.com and type in Summerfest 2023, and they'll show you all the little stuff that came out as well, or all. Not, I'm going to say little because I don't want to like diminish anybody's returns or anything like that. But there was a lot of DLC and additional stuff, and actual gameplay for games like they show, Space Marines 2 and everything like that. Yeah, so first game they showed was a 2.5D side scrolling character action game. I don't like calling them hack and slashes or beat 'em ups. Character action games. Uh Prince of Persia, The Lost Crown, The Lost Crown. I saw this game and I immediately was like, I'm picking this up first time I'm seeing it. And it looks like a maybe a Persian dude or maybe black. I don't know. But he looks cool. He has the Killmonger haircut and everything like that everybody's going for now. Um, what did you think of it?
uh, I mean, to be honest, I never played a Prince of Persia game before. This looks dope. Like, I do like
Mm-hmm.
2D action games, right? I'm not a big 2D game player, right? But when it comes to like 2D side scroll or beat 'em up, if it's done right, I mean, I try it out. I like the art style of this. That's getting me. I'm putting up the trailer right now to relook at it, but more than likely, it depends on the
It looks
reviews. Like if
like
you try
it
it
looks
out and
like a
then like in
2D side scrolling action Devil May Cry.
yeah, and it
Yeah,
looks
yeah, that's
good
what it
too.
looks really good.
It looks
Like
good.
I'm with you. So I played the original Prince of Persia. Well, not the original, like on the fucking, you know, old ass consoles. But I played Prince of Persia on 360, PS2. Yeah, I played the
PS2.
PS2.
Oh
I played the Prince of Persia version on PS3 or Xbox. The one where he had like two daggers. He was like he looked it was like a even in
yeah,
dark.
the one that they made the
No,
movie
not
off
that one. There
of.
was another one where he was like,
Oh, gee, it was
yeah,
like
yeah,
cell
yeah,
shaded.
that one. That one was really good. I love that one.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people fucking hated that game. Like I remember it came out, people fucking hated that game. I love that game. That game was actually pretty fucking cool to me. And it looks like elements of that game is actually in this game as well, in my opinion. But yeah,
Okay.
so I can't wait for it. I think it was a cool announcement. Uh, if you into Prince of Persia, I think you should get into it or whatever.
And it was unexpected, right? Like I thought they was going
The
about to
remake,
show the
yeah,
Sands of
yeah.
Time remake.
I
Yeah.
honestly, I think they're probably about to scrap that shit. Like to be honest with you. So
Yeah.
the next big game they show is finally Mortal Kombat 30, or for some, if you're like a kid now, if you're a kid growing up now, Mortal Kombat 1. It's your first Mortal Kombat. Um, bro, this when I saw this gameplay, it immediately brought me back to Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate. You remember you used to run and do your combos like and they start doing their combos and stuff. That's this game reminded me of.
My guy, I said this shit is fucking X-Men versus
Yeah,
Street
yeah,
Fighter.
yeah. This they
I'm
got
down
like
for it.
assist and everything. The trailer was really fucking good. This is like a reboot of
Air like actual air
actual air
combos,
combos and
like
everything. You do OTGs and all that shit, off the ground combos.
oh, Sub Zero and Scorpion are
Yes,
brothers now.
and
What?
then Liu
Come
Kang is the
oh
Earth Realm
my
protector.
god!
He's the god of fire.
Oh, him
Yep.
and Raiden swap places. Like I want to know what's going on in Kenshin and Johnny Cage. Like is Kenshin like an executive and Johnny Cage
I
the
don't know,
actor?
man. It-
Oh, but I don't know these dynamics that they showing. Like I think this is it's what I like to say. This is how you do a good reboot, right? You don't have to change everything up drastically. Like if you're going to retell the story, you don't have to retell this. Like if you're going to change everything up, just make subtle changes and make it make sense. Like this Sub Zero Scorpion thing that makes sense. Like I'm not gonna bitch about that.
yeah,
Uh,
and it's a reboot. I mean,
but outside of that, damn, look at the load screens,
yeah,
bro. What the
and like
fuck?
it's okay in my opinion too with this one because it's like we
It
already
looks pretty.
finished Mortal Kombat 11 finished the story. Like and then to be honest with you y'all, like Mortal Kombat story has literally been going on for 29 years. Like
This is the
yeah,
second time they finished the story. The first time they finished it was
yeah, it was Armageddon. It
Armageddon.
was Armageddon. Yeah,
They rebooted it for the PS3, and they
yeah.
rebooted it for the
So
PS5.
I think this is a good take on it. I think it's really good. It looks good. I think the combat looks good because everybody hated Mortal Kombat 11's combat, which is weird to me because it looks like it was to me Mortal Kombat.
It's the same framework as they just updated it. It's literally what we talk about for the Zelda Breath of the Wild, the Tears of the Kingdom. Take the
Yeah,
same
exactly.
framework, make it better.
It looks a lot better too. It looks the gameplay looks a lot more faster and everything like that. So I saw a lot of Street
Hmm.
Fighter purists like, oh shit, I might actually get this game. So
I do like about this. I do like how they load
yeah.
into the game, right? First the character selection. He did say that like the assist characters they will be based on their old costumes, and so because you see Sonya and Jax in there, that doesn't mean they are going to be not
Oh,
going to be
okay.
playable in the game. And so like you will be able to do like Sub Zero, right? Um, there will be eventually more assist characters than actual characters. Like, so yeah, this is about to be a dope ass fucking fighting game. Like, I feel like this is going to be what Street Fighter Six is to casuals now. Like a lot more people is getting into games and especially fighting games. Like I think this is gonna, especially Mortal Kombat is always good with content in the game. This is going to get a lot more casuals to
Yeah, I'm
playing Mortal Kombat and
yeah,
possibly
I'm
actually being
actually
good with it.
glad that, especially the fighting game franchise, I'm glad that it's moving back towards the casuals. I mean, yes, we all, both me and you, tried to get into the fighting game scene. Uh, all three of us did actually. Uh,
I mean, but we still play. We still competitive. So if we playing a fighting game,
yeah, we
we're
are
playing
playing
to
to
get
get good,
good,
but
somewhat
remember,
to be
I just
competitive.
remember sometimes I used to play fighting games because like they had like a really good story mode, or like Soul Calibur had like a fucking around the world mode and everything like that. Like,
That was literally why I was playing Mortal Kombat. Like I got into Mortal Kombat from Mortal
mhm.
Kombat Ultimate 3. Is that it was reading the story lore, the images with
Yeah,
the screen of lore. Like one night when I was up at night, I was just reading through all that shit, and I've been the next day I went to Wikipedia, early Wikipedia, and just started going through all the stories and know about the characters, and I really felt them. That's when I like felt in love with Mortal Kombat. Like, oh, this game's story is fucking amazing. And ever since then, from Deception 4, like all the PS2 games, it's like I played those games for the story to know more about the story. I don't give a fuck about the
yeah,
combat.
exactly. So I don't know. I think a lot of games is actually trying to target the casual audience again, and that's cool. I just don't want it to be like how it was back in like early 2008 when like all the games went like one button press casual. But it looks like now a lot of games are finding like their balance and everything like that. Um,
I think they doing what you said what Halo should do. What they did with Halo 3 when fighting games now are mainly starting to focus on the
yeah,
fun of it. Because the competitive is
exactly. The
always going to
competitive
be there,
people will
right?
always find
But it's
something
all
to be
about like
competitive
making
about within your fun game, you know.
exactly. Exactly. And so right now, just looking at Mortal Kombat, this shit seems fun as
Or
fuck
even
just
like
by looking at
Street
the
Fighter
trailer.
Five. You
And
never, you knew I never was like a bit. I used to play Street Fighter, but I never was competitive. I was always competitive in Marvel vs. Capcom, but Street Fighter, I never really was competitive in that game. But even Street Fighter Six, like I'm considering picking that game up because not only is it competitive, but like the RPG elements and story mode is just looks really fucking fun. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this
hmm
game, I already know this game's gonna have a super.
I hope they
Oh,
have that mode too. I hope they
I'm
have
not
like
even
that
worried
conquest
about it.
mode,
I
bro.
know
Oh.
like if anything Mortal Kombat does, they have single player content. Like they're gonna put that shit in there.
But like I need you to bring that old conquest, like when you was traveling
Oh yeah,
through
yeah.
the different realms. It's like I need that. I need that back,
Uh,
man.
so the next
Ugh. But whatever
so
they
the
do,
so the
I'll be
next game
happy.
they showed was a Path of Exile 2. I really don't have too much to say about this. It's supposed to be like a Diablo killer. So Path of Exile, just to give y'all a little bit of history. Diablo 3 was a massive failure for some. Like me and DJ, we loved the game. But we just be honest, we love.
Basic
Yeah.
action game to me.
But
I
a lot
love
of
it.
people didn't like where Mass Effect was going. Not Mass Effect, I'm sorry. Diablo was going.
Diablo.
So Path of Exile came out and kind of soaked up that audience a little bit. Um, and now we got PoE 2, which is coming out. And I think it's a little bit, the gameplay actually really fun. But I think it's a little bit too late now that Diablo 4 is out and everybody is loving Diablo 4.
And
Yeah.
people love
But
it.
yeah. So the next game after that, the next big game they showed or teased really wasn't a game. It was The Witcher 3 season 3. I don't know. Do you watch The Witcher? Did you watch The Witcher? Okay.
Nah, I
To
don't.
be
I
honest with y'all,
tried,
I
but I
love
couldn't.
season one
Couldn't.
of Witcher. Because I played the games and then and I read one of the books. I didn't read all of the books. Um, season two, I didn't like where they was taking the story, and I actually forgot about what happened at the end of season two. And then season three coming out, I couldn't even tell y'all what the fuck was going to happen in that shit.
And they got fucking Liam Hemsworth there
Well,
now.
I saw
Besides
Chris in the trailer
Chris.
for season three. Are they gonna like do some kind of weird like
Oh, so is it that he's
I
not
don't
in
know.
season
That's
four
the thing.
then?
Like they said he was supposed like Liam Hampson was supposed to be in
Shit.
season three. My thing is I think they're gonna do some kind of like world swap thing where they're gonna do like some kind of Marvel uh this is world 616 and now we're going to world 313 or something like that. Detroit. So like uh but yeah. And then so the next game they showed was another a game called Witchfire. It's a dark fantasy FPS game. It looked okay. It's in early access right now if you want to play it on Steam.
It's made by the people who did Bulletstorm, and it literally looks like
Yeah,
Bulletstorm
yeah,
in a fantasy
that's a
environment.
good description of it. It looks pretty fun though. I might pick it up, depending on how much it is.
I don't know if that's going to be like a Game Pass game or
Well,
something
it's
like
on
that.
Steam, so oh, it's
Oh,
on Epic
Epic
Store. I thought it
Store.
was on
Shit.
Steam.
Yeah, Epic Store. Huh.
All right.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be on
So the
Steam as well.
next
I mean, it's a
game
PC
is,
game.
me and DJ was kind of we weren't going to each other's throats in the chat, but we were like, I was like, meh, and DJ's like, I'm fucking getting it. So I'm since he's going to get it, I'm gonna get it,
No
and
question about it.
that's Supersonic Sonic Superstars. So to me, this game looks great. Nothing wrong with the game. I'm tired of 2D Sonic at this point, y'all. I'm just tired of it.
Man, I'm glad. One first, I'm sorry. I'm glad they didn't do a Sonic
That's what I
remake because
thought it was
that's
too, and
what I
I was
thought it
about to
was at the
get
start of the
very fucking
trailer.
irritated. But it wasn't. So if you
Oh,
guys play, I think it's Super Mario Brothers All Stars.
Super Mario
Yeah, is that
3D
the one where you
World.
can play four players and y'all can go through the worlds with each other? Yeah,
Yep.
that's what this game reminds me of. It reminds me of
Or it looks like because I don't know is if this is going to be a little bit 2.5D. It's more that would be more like Super Mario 3D World, but like this could be more like the new Super Mario Brothers if it's just a
it
2D
is a
Sonic
2D Sonic
game.
game, but the reason I say
Right.
it reminds me of Super Mario 3D Worlds is because you remember you can go through the worlds in four players. Like you can actually progress through the story with four
Mm-hmm.
players or one player. And I think like this is what this game is for Sonic fans, that they have for Mario fans.
Yeah.
So if you guys like Sonic, you can play through as Amy, Knuckles, and Tails with Sonic, and y'all can go through the world with each other. And it looks
You know, the only thing that I hope for this game is that if I'm playing online, that we don't share screens. Like I still have my own
yeah.
screen and you have your own screen, and we
I
just
think
see each
3D
other if
World
we're
didn't
running
do
through the
that
level.
though. I think you had to be all on the same screen in 3D World.
Oh,
We
man, if you
played
have to
it,
be
but
on the
we played
same
that
screen if
like
you're playing
years ago
online,
though.
that'd
But
be
we played that when you were
trash.
back in Stratman. I remember you played it. Yeah.
Yeah, that man, I fucking love that game. That's a good game. That's a good game. Nintendo, man, they make good games.
But yeah, look out for that Sonic game. I recommend y'all check out that trailer. It looks pretty fun. Even if you're not a Sonic fan, if you have kids,
Man, if that game got to be like 20
yeah,
bucks, oh, that'd be
if this
perfect.
game
If that
was
game like
20 bucks,
20
this would be a
bucks.
perfect game. Even if you have, I think if you have kids too, you'll love this game. Like if you're a fan of Sonic and your kids love Sonic, this would be a perfect game for both of y'all to play.
With the Knuckles show coming out too, like Sonic is
Yes,
dropping some
sir.
gems, man. They dropping some
So the
gems.
next thing they revealed is a horror souls like game called Lies of P. If you guys are fans of Bloodborne, it's more so on that thing. I'm tired of the souls like genre, so I would not be checking this out. But there is a demo out for a lot of people who want to play it. Um,
I say check out the demo,
I'm
Montrell.
gonna check. I'll
See
check
if
it
you
out.
like it.
Like my friend told me,
Uh,
it's bad, but
I
I'm gonna check it out. Uh,
I was looking at people playing at GDC. I never got a
mhm.
chance to play it, but like it looks like they add in some unique stuff to it, so it doesn't look like specifically a dark. And I guess that's what everyone's trying to do when it comes to cloning a Dark Souls game. Like you're trying to make a unique mechanic to it, but like I don't know. I would say just play the demo to see if you like it because it may be one of the few soul games out there that's actually pretty decent. Maybe. maybe, but I'm not a
Yeah.
Souls game person,
No,
so.
I mean, I'm probably gonna check it out. I'm just tired of like I said, to me, the perfection of Souls games was Sekiro. And then for some people it was Bloodborne, and then for some people it was Elden Ring. All three of those are correct in my opinion. That was like the peak of the Souls board genre, and I think we all need to move on from it. Uh, but people are still in love with it, so yeah. So the next game they showed was Sandland from the Dragon Ball creator. So pretty much people who made, Dragon Quest, Dragon Ball, um, and it looks like it's actually a manga. So it was a manga before, and then he made this manga before he made Dragon Ball. I think
Honestly, the
looks really
game
cool.
itself
Yeah,
looks pretty cool because, like, it's one of those things that, like, especially like with the Naruto games, right? Like, this is exactly what I kind of wanted a Naruto game to be because when you play, because it's just like the typical anime fighters, right? And it started that whole genre mainly, but it's one of those that in the later Ninja Store games, they try action moments, and it's just like, man, like, won't they just actually make a game like this for Naruto? Like this should have been Naruto Ultimate Ninja Store 4. So I'm just glad they are not taking the
yeah.
fighting route
I mean,
with the manga, and it's dope they taking another manga
yeah.
and doing
So
like
this
something
manga
like
was
this
actually
with.
made after Dragon Ball. It was made in 2000, and it had a run from. It was a short run. It was only like one or two volumes, from May to August. So I think he just run. He just wrote a one off because I mean this. Let's be honest, y'all. Akira Toriyama doesn't have to fucking write anything if he doesn't want to.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I think he made this.
Man, I think this is about to start something, Montreal. I think this is about to start like a new form of anime games.
Well, bro,
This is going to be a new
because
form of
I
anime
was
game.
playing like people I put like somebody made a dumb post or whatever, and then I was like anyways because they did one of those like one of those dumb posts that people make like, oh, if the lady has everything, then why does she need a man? So I was like, all right, I'm gonna just quote tweet this and put my
Mm.
gameplay over it, and it was Scarlet Nexus, and I did that, and a lot of people were like, yo, what is this anime game? This is fucking dope. And that really disappointed me that people didn't know about Scarlet Nexus. I would talk that game up as far as an anime game
Mhm.
to the heavens high because people play Code Vein and all these other anime games. They actually tried with Scarlet Nexus, and I recommend people play. It has light RPG elements. You can talk to characters. You get better move sets when you talk to characters. Uh, and they have loyalty missions like Mass Effect and everything like that. So I feel like it's a really good game that tried, and it's fully voice acting in English, and the voice acting is actually really good. Um, yeah, and there's two sides to the story, and each side is like maybe 20 hours. So you play as two different characters from two
Mm.
different points of view. And I recommend it to anybody, and it's free. It's not free, but it's on PlayStation Extra, and it's on Game Pass. So I recommend. There's nothing y'all can lose by not playing that game. But yeah, um, yeah, Sandland looks really good, and I'm actually glad that the Dragon Quest is also making a different style of games as well. They're not doing RPGs anymore. Where their newest game, they're doing like something different or whatever. And then you got this, and they're doing something different. So I know also there was a One Piece game that was like an open world RPG that just came out.
Yeah, I heard that. I
Yeah,
heard that
so
was
I'm
pretty
glad they're
good.
getting away from that Ninja Storm arena battle shit. That shit.
And that One Piece game was
Oh, it
original
was? I didn't
story
know that.
too. And like, why not do shit like that for video games? You do it in the anime for filler. Like, you don't need to actually tell the story. It would be dope to play a story because I
Yeah,
like the characters.
they could
Like,
have made a
you
whole
know.
ass like character action game off the Kakashi Chronicles. Like, you could have got that.
Hmm. Or just to tell the whole, like, this is my Naruto ideal pitch, right? If I was to make a game, I would just tell Itachi's story. I would just follow Itachi because like he been in the Anbu since 8, so that means he's
Yeah.
been
Oh
a
yeah. Yeah.
badass. Like character game
Yeah. Or
skilling
yeah.
is
Or he could do the
the
fourth
fourth
Hokage.
Hokage,
Yeah.
right?
Like I don't know, man. It's just
Like it's funny, right? Because look, the game could start with the fourth Hokage, right? That's the first game. You play through the 4 Kage. By the time you beat the game, the second game, it's Kakashi because he comes the next, right? You play through his story. And at the end, he's in an Ambu. Guess who shows up in Ambu? Itachi, nigga. And there you go. A trilogy of Naruto
Exactly.
games. I'm done.
So, but yeah, that come. I don't know when this is coming out. Actually, I don't think they dropped the release date from it for it. Oh no, it's
Nah, I was just
yeah,
watching. I had a
yeah.
trailer
They didn't drop a release date for it, I think.
release. Wait, Sandland will
Oh,
be
August.
released in
Okay.
August. Yup. Yup.
So let's see here. So next game they showed was Party Animals. Um,
It's like the game beast type
yeah, it's
physics
like
game. So like the
yeah, it's
physics
one. It's
party
that. It
games,
was another game that already came out that was like that. That's what it was
game
called.
beast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So if you guys are into games like that, then this is going to be coming out on Steam. And the next game they showed was Alan Wake 2. Uh, I got super Resident Evil 2 vibes from this game, like the remake. When I seen this game, I played the first Alan Wake. It was almost like a top down situation, not all the way, um, but it was like a top down game, and it was pretty cool. It's pretty dark and mysterious. But this one they're doing a third person. It looks like Resident Evil, in my opinion, the newer style of Resident Evil games, and I think it's going to be really good. This game comes out. They have gameplay footage for it. They show like 5 minutes of gameplay. Um, and
Hmm.
yeah, it comes out October 17th of this year for all consoles.
Crazy. A lot of good games
Yeah,
coming out
this is
this year,
what I think
bro.
they should do from now on. I think they should get away from that like CGI trailer bullshit and coming in the future. Like nobody cares about that shit anymore. Like if you don't have the game ready, don't fucking show the game. In my opinion, that's just me. I know they gotta generate hype.
The be- the best the best thing to do is to I call it
Yeah,
Fallout 4 that
yeah.
shit, man. Fallout 4 that shit. Just show me a good trailer of the game. Probably come out and explain that shit. And then if you is gonna show me, like, don't show me the game so far ahead. I think Final Fantasy 16. I can't remember when they
They
started
showed that
showing
game
it. I
so
don't know if it was
far
last
ago.
year.
We've been knew about that game for a while.
Okay, so yeah. Oh, you're right, because it was during that
Yeah,
PlayStation 5 announcement. So
yep.
yeah, it's been like 3 years.
We didn't get any gameplay
Yeah.
footage for it for a while as well.
Until last year. That's what it is. That's why I was thinking about that. Because last year is when they first showed like gameplay. Then like this year they
Yeah,
actually gave us
because they were
that whole
remember
breakdown.
all we knew about Final Fantasy 16 was that they hired the Devil May Cry battle director and everything like that. So a lot of people were speculating that it's going to be like that or like a Kingdom Hearts style type game, and it's actually just a like a character action game with RPG elements, so which I like. So the next
Hmm.
game they showed was something called Toxic Commando, which is being made or in collabs with John Carpenter or John Carpenter. I don't know why I say his name like that, but John Carpenter. If you're not
Hmm.
familiar with John Carpenter's work, he is the famous guy behind The Thing. So he knows how to make some horror games, and this one looks like you're going to be fighting a horde of zombies, so Left 4 Dead style. So yeah, you got disconnected again, but yeah. So how you feel about that, DJ?
Uh, I think it is a perfect time for more games like that to come out. Uh, Man, before we got disconnected, I brought up a different comparison to Days Gone. The very first trailer to Days Gone, when you see all those zombies like chasing at you like that. Right now, technology wise, hardware wise, we at a place where I believe we can have fun zombie games like that they originally trying to pitch to us that we never got. Uh, so hopefully this game just runs well because I do like a good zombies game, especially like the Call of Duty zombies. If this has a for me, this is the biggest thing. It has to have a fun gameplay loop, especially from level to level. I mean, wave to wave, right? I have to feel like one, upgrade my character, and then like I'm doing something interactive in a world that could progress some sort of story or some sort of completion to the level. Um, but yeah, this game it could be okay. It could be okay. It's just a generic like whatever game to be a zombie game, but like
Yeah, I'm kind of tired of like. I think if you get somebody like John Carpenter or Guillermo del Tomo or anything like that, like make a really good game with their talent. I think game creators don't make good games with their talent. Whatever. So I don't know. Just making a like putting John Carpenter then making a fucking Left 4 Dead game, like that's kind of weird to me. But hey, man, I would have preferred like another fucking horror style game or anything
Why
like
not
that.
bring it? Yeah, some single player shit.
Yeah,
Like actually,
like you remember
Evil
that
Dead,
one
right?
game called The Suffering on
Oh
PS2? It
shit!
was a super spooky ass game.
Hell no, do not
Yeah, that game was fucking terrifying. Um, but yeah, I just remember
suffer.
playing that game. Yeah, and being like terrified. And then what made it worse is it wasn't the game. This wasn't part of the game, but the game was kind of scratched up over my cousin's house. So on certain parts, it would just like freeze or like keep replaying the same part over and over again. It was just
Oh,
scary as fuck.
this I never played this, but I remember the fuck out of this cover art.
Yeah. Um.
Oh,
So
mm.
yeah, we gonna move on though. But like the next game was Baldur's Gate 3. I'm not really a big Baldur's Gate fan. Are you?
No, me neither.
Yeah, so I mean, people who were excited. There were some people in my other group chat excited for this game. I'm not. The
What
graphics
type
look
of
fucking
game is
good
this?
though.
Is this like a RTS or
It's it's
Diablo
one of
style
those
game?
it's one of those Dungeons and Dragons style type games.
So, what is it?
Where you
Plays
move your
like
character on like a board almost type of deal, and then it's turn based. Uh,
okay,
yeah, I can't really like explain it, but you can look it up. But
yeah, then that's not
um,
my type of game. Then
yeah. So the next game they showed or didn't show, they gave a release date. Um, oh, and they also revealed this, which I'm not going to reveal this to y'all because that was like super spoilers in my opinion. So,
man, they have fucking 5 years to play the game, 5+ years.
well, I mean,
That's your fault.
so they said this in the original Spider-Man.
I mean, they didn't, but like it's a question that I don't think this is a spoiler question because Venom can kind of like honestly be anyone, but like they haven't told us who he is. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah, so
That's a spoiler.
it's not Flash, right? Flash is Eddie Brock,
Eddie
right?
Brock, no, different person.
Oh,
Flash
that's a
and Eddie
different
Brock's different.
person.
So yeah, it's not Eddie Brock. So
So
it
it might
could be
be
Flash.
it
It
could be
could be
Flash.
Harry
Okay.
Osborn, or it could just be anybody else, right?
Okay. So we know it's not Eddie Brock though. Um and they did give a release date for Spider-Man, which is in October.
Wait,
So
isn't that like right near one in like Alan Wake? Like they're like a week or two away.
3 days away. Because I think
Damn,
this game comes out on the 20th. It
damn.
said
Now
October 20th.
October 20th. What day Alan Wake comes out?
The 17th, I think.
Shit.
Yeah, it does. The 17th.
Damn, that's
Yikes.
crazy.
They may change that. Um
Yeah, somebody gotta move.
yeah. I ain't gonna be Spider-Man, so I can tell you that much right now. They may delay it or they may up it in my
What's that? A
opinion.
Tuesday and a Friday? I'm
Yeah.
guessing. Yeah, because what's thing like to release on Friday? Sony.
Yeah. So yep. So that we got a release date for them. And then looks like Ever Crisis is coming out for Final Fantasy VII fans. It's a mobile version
I
of
ain't even
Final
gonna
Fantasy
lie.
VII.
This shit looks fire. This shit looks fire. It's they've been remaking Final Fantasy VII for mobile, but they've been updating it so it plays like a little bit modern, and they've been adding like these cutscenes and shit to it as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of like this whole Final Fantasy VII pack because they got the battle royale already out, and this is the last one to release. But it's all of the Final Fantasy story. So Ever Crisis is like everything that engulfs like that Final Fantasy VII story from like the side games and shit. I forget what specific side games, but like it it's the Final Fantasy story, right? And I think it's
Okay.
even Dirge's Cerberus. Hold on, because they got it in here. So it's Dirge's Cerberus, Final Fantasy VII, and Crisis Core. Yep. So all of them is being remade in HD. And you see how it looked like in with the trailer, right? But they
Yeah,
will
yeah.
also have like the up to date graphics in it. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe they changed the story. I don't know if the story's been having slight changes, but even if it's the same thing, you just got all the games being remade on the on mobile, and it's just one game called Ever Crisis.
Yeah, and I would call this a milk, but I have to remember that Final Fantasy VII is almost 25 years old, so there are
Yeah.
kids who literally never
There's a
experienced
lot of
Final
people who
Fantasy.
never played some of our
Yeah,
games, True. This is why I
that's
don't
what I'm
get made
saying.
remakes, man, because I'm like, most of these people didn't play it.
Yeah,
And
I
then
will
even
call
if
this a milk,
they
but
can't play it, even if they could,
yeah, exactly. So this is a great way for people to experience,
it's
but
not for us.
yeah, it's definitely not for us. I wouldn't recommend trying to go back and playing Dirge or Cerberus. That game's fucking terrible. Don't ever fucking play that game. Fucking bad game. And I'm not like being facetious or anything. Like, look up the reviews for that game and look how it plays. It's a bad game.
And
But
you
yeah,
actually played it. You ain't a person that just say, "Hey, don't play it," like, or
yeah, like
you know,
no,
most of
don't
these people be
like
lying.
yeah, no, don't play that fucking game. Like I bought that game when it first released, spent $50 on it or $45 on it. Like that was a lot of money. That was like my fucking my allowance and my crappy ass, fucking Kroger job money. And I'm like, oh shit, I bought this game and I bought it and I was like, oh my fucking god, I just wasted my fucking money on this game. But I played the fuck out of it though, because that's all I that's all I had. Um, but yeah, the next game they showed was like a Dragon Gaiden, or Gaiden rather, which I'm gonna get.
Yeah, it looks pretty
See it.
nice.
It's another Yakuza game. So it's an action game. So the last Like a Dragon game was an RPG game, turn-based RPG game, but this one is an action game. So I recommend checking out that trailer if you like the Yakuza games and looking at that. So the next one, I didn't see Optimus Prime in the game. They didn't show him in the trailer. Unless
It was like at the very end.
at the very end. All right, so
Yeah,
yeah,
because they was
so
going into some forests, and it was like I thought it was going to be on some Indiana Jones shit. I was like, oh, they probably setting this up for the Indiana. Because usually what Fortnite's been doing is like every season they've been
mhm,
setting it up for like a big crossover, right? And that usually do us what's whatever is going on now, and so. I'm thinking that he was setting it up for Indiana Jones, and then Optimus Prime fucking showed up. Like,
yeah.
it's
So
pretty dope. I'm about to buy this shit.
yeah, I actually I hope they add some more gameplay mechanics to it. I heard they were gonna add wall running a long time ago,
I
but I'm
swear,
not sure
wasn't that
what.
in the trailer?
Did they wall run in the trailer?
I believe so. I want to say I saw it, man. I could be lying to myself, but I want to say I saw it. I'm looking for it right now because I got it playing in the background. Wayfinder. Yeah, they
He was
showed a
grinding.
twist.
He did grind, but he didn't wall run.
Okay. Because I was
But
about
yeah,
to
it
say,
looks pretty. It looks like a Sasuke skin actually.
yeah, that one, that one
Yeah, that
pirate's
one.
supposed to be.
Yeah,
Hey, that
but yeah,
Optimus skin look
I don't know.
badass.
Yeah, I can't wait for Optimus Prime to be in the game. I'm gonna be playing. I actually like Fortnite a lot, so I think it's a really fun game just to sit down and play and have fun in
Damn,
the
that
game.
skin looks good. And I got like $40 worth of Fortnite credits and shit. I can
Yeah, I
buy
still
that.
got like $30, I think, in my shit. So definitely can buy it first day. I
Yes,
actually gotta get
sir.
some more. I gotta watch when the Naruto skins are dropping again to see
Yeah,
what
me
skins
too.
are.
Because I haven't bought any of them, and
I got
I at
the
least
Dragon Ball Z skins,
I don't care
and I
about the
got the.
Dragon Ball Z skins. You can have those.
Well, I do, and I got them.
But yeah, like I need to whenever they come back out on the drop, I'll probably start picking up Fortnite again. If you playing it, I play because I when that shit was first, I was heavy into Fortnite. This is our game, but like what stopped me and Dewan from playing it was the sweats, like the building sweats. Like it just started getting worse and worse over time, and
Yeah,
I
now
was
they got
done
the
with
no
it.
build mode. I think y'all like it a lot more because
Yeah,
there's no build. So I think it's real, and it's fun. They got the ODM gear. They got the fucking samurai sword that can, and they got the One Punch Man, or not the One Punch Man, but Detroit Smash in there.
that's
Um,
one thing I have always appreciated about Fortnite as it was getting bigger was that like they was able to add all these dumbass fun equipments like that you said, right? And it's
mhm.
just an item slot, right? And it just changes up the whole game.
Yep.
And it makes that season so much like fun because like people play around that and especially if the mechanic is fun. It was one season when they had the robot that fucked it up. But like yeah, man, yeah, damn, Fortnite is a good game, man. Fortnite is a good game. Y'all should play the PVE. Play the PVE.
Save the world mode.
Save the World. Yeah, play that. Play that with me.
All
Is it
right.
free now? I don't know
I don't know.
if
I don't know. I think you gotta buy it still.
shit.
But yeah, so they announced in the last one they announced at the very end of the show, by the way, they finally announced Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is the next version, part two of Final Fantasy VII Remake. So that's going to drop at the early part of 2024, so probably first quarter, so maybe around May, or I'm sorry, March. May, I think that's the first quarter, I
Yeah,
think.
it ends in March. Yep.
Okay, yeah, so maybe around there. And they dropped
And
some.
they said winter 2024, and then like with 16 coming out this year, I can definitely see them not putting 16 in this year. I mean, seven in this year, and like
Mhm.
by March, February, March next year, yeah, it's gonna be out.
Yeah, so it's actually there. It looks
If
like they're
not,
taking into this.
it could be the financial year for the next quarter, so that would be
Okay,
April.
okay, I can see that. That technically is still early 2024. It's the early half of the year.
And then that will give them money to put in the books for next year because they have 16 for the big release for this year and seven and this can be for the big release for next year if they release
Yep.
it in April for it.
Okay. Getting that financial breakdown from DJ, which you know. So it looks like it's going to be on two discs. So they're keeping in tradition with the original Final Fantasy. I think which was originally 4 discs. I think it was.
And the last one's
Uh,
gonna be on one disc.
I think the last one's gonna be on probably 1 disc or whatever. So it is coming in 2 discs, which is weird because Blu-rays can hold up a obscene amount of data. So
I
I don't
think
know why they're doing
16
it.
gigs, and I think with these new Blu-rays, I think they hold up to 100 for the
Yeah, so
PS5. So
that
shit.
means this game has more than 100 gigs on 1 disc, which is insane to me. Um, and then it looks like they're gonna be doing something weird and funky with Tifa and Aerith. If you played the original games, then you know what I'm talking about. If you didn't play the original games, and I ain't gonna spoil it for you.
You know
But
what I
yeah,
think on that part? I think it's like if we about to be on some split timeline shit, right? Because
I heard a theory that the Cloud is going to be the one who does it. He's going to swap, and then
yeah, dude,
and then and then and
however
then
however it works,
yeah, and
however it works.
Then Zach is going to have to be the hero because technically Zach is not dead in this timeline, y'all.
You see what
So
Tifa was asking questions. Where was Cloud at 5 years? Like,
yeah,
was he there? Like, and then you see the outfit she had on when she was talking to Sephiroth. I'm like, wait a minute, man.
yeah,
This is
something happened. So we gonna see. We know how Nomura does. We saw his shit with Kingdom Hearts, y'all. So I'm just saying, get ready, Kingdom Final Fantasy 7 fans, because Nomura is taking the helm. Final Fantasy 7 and Kingdom Hearts fans have already been through this shit. So it's gonna be some crazy weird shit going on.
I think about what it is for a time to be alive right now for single player games, right? People talked a lot of shit about single player games, especially sequels of them not really doing much.
Hmm.
So far, we had nothing but dope ass sequels, right?
Yep.
With Zelda being one of them this year. Fucking Final Fantasy 16 to me, that's a sequel to Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
And then like this, right? Like imagine like, dude, this shit about to be so fucking
Well, you
good.
remember when EA said, you remember EA and like other game companies and Xbox, even when they're like games as a service, and EA was like single player is dead. Now
Mhm.
even EA has a really good single player game coming out, which is called
That Magic game,
yeah, that Immortals of Avium or Avium.
yeah.
That game was really good. They also dropped Dead Space, which sold really fucking well, and
The
some other
Star
single
Wars games,
Star Wars games that
the
sold really
other little
fucking
indies
well.
that have like Unravel and shit like that.
Yeah,
The Takes Two, his games that
yeah.
go, yeah.
So I mean,
Fuck, what is that game called? The storybook game.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. I forgot what it's called though. But like I feel like single player games in general are really coming back in a strong way, and I
Hmm.
think a lot of people. You know what? As much as we hate them, we gotta thank the sweats because I think people are so tired of the sweatiness and the streamers and shit like that. Like they like to watch them, but like only a certain demographic loves to play those games, and now people are going back to single player games because they still want their video game fix. So I mean, I got to thank them. So thank you, Sweats, for getting my single player games back. And I think also with the rise of like fucking mobile gaming and shit like that, like game companies can fund their other fun like projects and won't take money because you know you may have like another a mobile game funding that. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was a big thing. So everything came into fruition. I know especially myself, I was scared where mobile gaming was coming in and everything like that. But I think, uh, like as long as it can fund good projects like this, I think it's like a perfect equilibrium going on right now.
You
And I
know
think
what
a
I
lot of
think was gonna change it up a bit as well is live service games, because it seems like this is how I think the future is gonna happen. Right, there's not gonna be a lot of live service games out there, but
Mhm.
at least every company is going to have at least one good
At least
live
one.
service game, right?
Yeah.
And that's going to be the one that's going to really be funding a lot of their other games, right?
Hmm. Yep.
Plus the whatever mobile games that whatever companies can have, right? Because you see everybody's trying to get into these other industries, especially Nintendo, right? And then
Yep.
PlayStation for all these movies, right? And so game wise, I believe every company is going to have at least one big live service game.
Mhm.
If they end other medias, that merchandise sales, all that bullshit is going to go on, but all of that stuff is going to fund the single player games. And this may be, as much as some people may hate live service games, right? Because of live service games, it could be in like multiplayer games and like the fucked up microtransactions, all this bullshit. But I think the birth of the live service is the reason why we're gonna have another video game renaissance,
Yeah.
because live
Yep.
service is going to fund and like especially with all the bad bullshit that we have, right? Because all that shit adds up, and
Yep.
now it's being held down by live service, and people see how much money it's making, and of course you see people trying to get into it. Y'all talked about it with Sony last week, right? But something is going to pay off with some companies' live service games, and that's going to fund the creativity for good single player games, where it's going to be a crap ton of them, some low quality ones or some big triple A ones. I really hope that they pull the budget back on some of these games and we
Yes.
get just good double A games. Like, so besides saying like, hey, here's a big triple A budget for like Uncharted 4, right?
Yes. I agree.
and
We
that and
need
that
more
budget, let's
middleware
say,
games.
yeah, right. And if that's budget is like 200 million, let's just say 200 million, 400 million, right?
Mhm.
500 million for that budget. Let's just give us like, hey, Naughty Dog, here's 500 million, right? But besides making that one Uncharted 4, make an Uncharted 4 for like 300 million, and then just make another side fun game or small games, like two small games for 100 million each, because y'all
Yeah.
can do that, right?
Yep.
Just, you could come up with some creative shit. Like, I mean, every game doesn't need to be the big
Well,
blockbuster game.
a lot of games that a lot of people like, and including me and you, like they came from like middleware, like a lot of mechanics and
That's where Crash came
different.
from.
Yeah, a lot of middleware games and stuff like that. Like even Apex Legends itself, right? That came off of the spinoff of Titanfall, which came from a small project. And they're like, well, let's just try it and see what happens. And then Apex Legends is now bigger than Titanfall. But that started off as like a small project that, that they were working on in kind of secrecy, to be
I
honest
mean,
with
look at
you.
the story of Fortnite, bro.
Yeah, like Fortnite is another example of that. So I mean, I don't know. I feel you. I feel like as long as we get an equilibrium. Like I just think some of the inflated budgets, even of the single player games, I don't. Because why is Grand Theft Auto like rumored to be $1 billion? Like that's fucking
The
insane.
reason why, right? Certain games I can see it, right? For Rockstar, it's understandable. So when I hear that, I'm like, oh, y'all about to do some dope shit, because Rockstar is just like Nintendo, right? They try to develop their games to perfection, but like
Hmm.
how Nintendo would develop specific mechanics and make sure everything works, right? Like that shit works like how it would in real life. Like if I flick on my light switch, my light's coming on, right?
Yeah.
That's how Nintendo like their games to work. What Rockstar would do, besides building out mechanics that's like super detailed that works upon each other, they would build out worlds now that's super complex and that does shit that we would
Hmm.
never think a video game to do. Like, for example, like horse testicles, like fucking pulsate, and like who the fuck thinks of that? But like that's their ideal. It's like, oh, so make this the world as real as possible. You're going to be on this horse all the time. You're going to be riding this horse. Let's make this horse work like a horse, right? And so what I envision with Grand Theft Auto with that budget, thinking about the world that they are making, if they are making multiple worlds, that would be dope, or multiple zones that you go in, because the rumor is that you're supposed to be in Vice City and like three different time periods, and you're supposed to
Mm.
be able to go to like Puerto Rico and shit. That's the rumor. But like, if the if the world is just like, again, a lived in world, a better cyberpunk, like, because I believe they can do it, like, and if it works like how they do with role play, right, where I have to put gas in my car and you have all these dumbass mechanics to make it like, so you have to play in real life, right? Just imagine if you're in a police chase in Grand Theft Auto and you steal a car and the motherfucker, they have no gas, you got to get out. Like, it makes you, shit like that makes you play different, right?
Yeah.
So they doing shit like that to make Grand Theft Auto. To me, that's what level up Grand Theft Auto. Don't give me just five remade and just do like the fresh coat of paint, right? I need you to go a step above beyond. Like,
Because
how are
even
we going to
five was
change?
ambitious though. Like five was
It
ambitious,
was.
and
It
I
was.
love the story mode in five. I love the single player in five. I didn't play GTA Online, but I love GTA Five. I love the story and everything. So I'm not doubting what Rockstar can do. I'm just like that's an insane budget. My thing is, what I think a lot of people don't understand is a lot of that budget is not going to go to the developers. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
marketing and all other shit like that.
It's
And
going to
that's where I get
marketing.
kind
It's
of
going to the voice actor talent, the licensed music.
yep,
Like,
yeah, yep, exactly. So, um,
but
yeah,
one
so yeah,
thing for Grand Theft Auto, if
mhm,
I think the big change for Grand Theft Auto outside of that bullshit, right? The more logical one would be if online and single player is one, right? It should just be I load it to the game, I can create my character or whatever. But like when I play to the game, it's like, hey, I'm playing the single player characters right here. Then if I play the single player story, I could be in the same online world, right? And I can just do single player shit while I'm in the online world because it would be dope to have that interactivity, like how you were saying with Death Stranding, right?
mhm,
Um, and then if I want to switch to online, like I just swap to my character, it loads my character in, or go to the house, or loads me into my character house, and then I'm in that same world, in that same instance, and I just switch to my character, and I'm just like doing online missions besides fucking single player missions. Like that's the type of interactivity that I would like to see for Grand Theft Auto 6, including like all that other bullshit. But like that's the type of shit that I look for. I'm not looking for just like, hey, I'm here's a new city, and but like I'm change it up a bit. Like when I see the Mortal Kombat, how they load into the game, you select your characters and they just instantly do the clash and they talk to each other. And then like when you select your stage, that shit changes in the background. So it's like it's no that shit just feels seamless, right? And I need the same thing for Grand Theft Auto 6. I just need you to make it feel seamless.
yeah,
I'm a nerd
I
about
agree.
that shit.
So, but yep, I think we reached the end of the show, y'all. Because I was gonna go over like the other stuff, but you guys can read it. It's a lot of other stuff that happened. Little stuff that happened, like they dropped some gameplay for Space Marines. They also dropped some gameplay for a couple of other games that already been announced. So I recommend you go check those out. But yeah, so once again, try to reach us at uh, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or Google Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app of choice. My name's Ben Montrell, and this is the Player Takes. We out.